Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's time for us to be tuning in to some good old rounds of good old Warframe. Welcome back once again, one and all. Hello there, 869 Essence. How are you doing today? Welcome to Zeta channel once again. We're back in the Orbiter. We're back here in the Origin system, ready to get cracking on with some Warframe bits and pieces. And as the title of the stream may suggest, today I want to be doing some research with you guys. I want to be looking into some interesting bits and pieces around Kuva and Tenet weapons. I've been putting it off. I'll be very honest with you. I have been putting it off for quite a while. Hello there, Shepherd of Fire. How are you doing today? Yeah, I've been putting it off mostly on the general principle of farming them. That was always a big pain in the ass, is actually getting the Tenet and Kuva weaponry, and then on top of farming them, also actually understanding what the hell was going on with the element system. You see, now we know what's going on with the element system. You know, I did that whole video on H-set, Harrow chassis every time, as you remember, and I have also now covered the update to just farming the Kuva and Tenet weaponry. Scottish Legion saying, you sound so different from your videos. Do I sound really that different at the moment? Let me get into video mindset. Let me get into video mindset right after this.
There once was a man from Havana, who dreamed he was eating banana. He woke with a shake from a giant earthquake. I have no idea how to finish this poem.
What? Esprit, thank you very much for the 6 bumps, but what? Okay, yep, no, that's a interesting poem. Again, thank you very much for the 6 bumps. Enjoy your now newly upgraded golden badge. Once was a man from Havana who dreamed he was eating a banana. He woke with a shake from a giant earthquake. Now back to playing Nirvana. Let's go with that. There you go, let's go with that for a finish. It's just as nonsensical, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Hello Red Panda, how are you doing today? Welcome, welcome. And it looks like, let me just check on my side. Shit. Alright, bot's still broken. Bot's still broken. That's twice in a row. So, this is so weird. I tested this between streams and it worked. Stop redeeming giveaways right now, guys. I'm gonna figure out what the fuck's going on. That's a problem. It worked the other day. I tested it, and it worked. And now it's not working. And I am more than a little bit upset about that, actually. This was custom made, and it's been working, and working fine, and now it's just not working. Hold on, no. I want to know what's going on here. As I said, I literally tested this just the other day, and I love how people are doing the exact opposite of listening to the stream and saying, please do not redeem it, it's broken. They're going to keep redeeming it, so go for it. You're throwing away your channel points right now, I can't give them back to you, but sure, you keep doing that. Whilst I try and figure out what the hell's going on here. I don't know, asking, what weapon would you want to become a Tenet or Kuva weapon? Oh, the Amprex. Tenet Amprex, let's bring that one out, come on. Give us a nice chaining primary, you know? Snake Raider, doing the same as everyone else. Maybe it's a spam that broke it? No. This bot survived the raid that we had from the main Warframe stream. If the bots can survive that, it can survive you guys here at the start of the stream. This happened, not yesterday, on the last Warframe stream as well, on Wednesday. It broke too, so let me quickly check the settings in case I have made a boo-boo there. Probably not, because I don't touch them, because they work. But I'll quick... One just went through. One of them just went through. Who's went through? Snake Raiders went through. Very late, but it went through. No one before that. Well, that's just no good. Because there's been far more than just Snake Raider redeeming the Platinum giveaway here right now. Right. That's a problem. That is a problem in like 25,000 different ways.
There once was a man from Havana. Yeah, that is a hard poem to finish. Man shrugging.
Man shrugging. Well, the bot understands what's happening in that regard. Palaparadon, thank you very much for your subscription to 4 months from Prime, my dude. Refreshing that silver badge. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You submitted it whilst the ad was playing. Oh, nicely done there, Snake Raid. Nicely done. I'm glad you have your priorities set out there, yeah. Most people look away during the adverts. For you? No, giveaway time. Let's do it. Alright then. Well, man's shrugging. Yeah. Alright. Seeing as the bot is deciding to be an absolute dick, let me check. Is the bot going to be a dick to me? If I redeem it myself, I won't win it, obviously. Not allowed. But if I redeem it myself, will that be picked up by the bot? Let's see here. I'm going to give it 10 seconds. Any chance it might go through? Any chance? Maybe? Yo, yeah, no, there we go. It's picked up my one, I think. Yep, it's picked up my one. Is it also going to pick up Uplodites? So I did it at the same time. Right. No, it doesn't seem to be coming through. So out of, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 redeems, or redemptions, however you want to put it. Out of 12 of them, the bot has picked up exactly 2. Well, that's just no good. Yeah, alright. I'm canning that for now. I'm canning that for now. Why is 80% slow so bad, lol? Tried 80% slow and the enemies are still aimbotting. Well, that's the thing. Aiming from enemies isn't really controlled by their turning speed or anything. It's just their animations which are slowed down. So they'll be firing slower, but they're still firing just as well as before. It's just slower. You've got that time to prevent them from doing something, rather than straight up make them miss. If you want to make them less accurate, you use blast procs, but who the hell's going to do that when you can just kill them? Yeah, one sec guys, I'm going to just disable that channel point reward. It is clearly not working for the second time, despite appearing to work when I tested it. How strange that it's picking up 2 people but not others. I don't have an answer for that one. Adam, I just managed to slip in there as well with one as I was closing that. I can't refund those channel points, sorry my dude. But, yeah, that's gone the way of the dodo. I'm going to see, is it even going to pick up Adam Alex one? No, apparently not. Alright, cool. Good bot. Not. Something's gone wrong there. I will speak to the person who programmed it and see if they can figure out a fix on that. But that means we're going to have to do this another way. How do we want to do this then? Because I want to be able to do a platinum raffle today. I do. Didn't do one on Wednesday. I want to do one today. So before we get diving into the rest of everything, I'm going to have a look at that. Good evening to you, Season. How are you doing today? Let me see here. There should be a thingamajig giveaway module here. Let's give this one a try. I'll be like saying, I really want to use Equinox, but the problem is she has so much energy drain and it pains me. I mean, as far as energy drains go, she's harder early game compared to a lot of your early game frames, but there are some worse drains out there. She's not actually terrible when you're looking at a main build. What you might want to look into is either hyper-focusing on efficiency, getting yourself a Prime Flow mod in there, or looking at going for purchasing, what's it called? Arcane Energize. Because that's a huge source of energy for Equinox. There are other ways you can go about it, but those are your 3 really key ones for getting the efficiency needed to run a full MAME Equinox. Alright, let's see about this. Do that. That. Alright. Okay, there we go. That might be a thing. So, instead of joining with the, what should we call it? The channel point option, if you do !ticket, that should go into the backup giveaway option I got here. So who wants to be the first guinea pig? Try !ticket and see what happens. Who wants to be the guinea pig on that one? Examoon has tried it, Scottish Legion has tried it, Palaperidon has failed to try it. There we are, no, he's done it. Let's have a look, those three. No one else, just those three, let's see. Nope, none of that came through either. What is going on here? What is going on? Yeah, don't worry about the 20k wrenches there, Stremitess. I've set the first one to free, but for some reason it's also still not gone through. That's... Yeah. Let's see. Have... I'm running out of options here. I am running out of answers for what is going on here. Let me see. If I do a search for that... Let's do that and this. Okay. Wait. Okay. Now, someone try it. Maybe. Maybe. I'm gonna make this work. Hey, there it is! Esprit, Scottish Legion, Palaperidon, Hexamoon, Adamalek, Ceramitas. Yep, they're all coming through on that one. Alright, we're now using the alternative system. Let me update the chat command to warn the bot about it, basically. Warn general bot. There it is. We're going to run that throughout the stream. That should work. There we are. Alright, that's updated on the chatbot as well, so everything is in there. You only need to do it once, then you'll be in, and that is that. That is the long and short of it. That should have it sorted now. So yeah, I've got Uploadites 1, got Caesars 1, that's all just working. Excellent! There we go. Where there's a will, there's a way. I knew I had a backup there just in case. Kind of surprised it didn't work straight away, but there we are. Alright then, let's get on with the stream, shall we? Now all the bugs and what they're out of the way. It's Bugframe, it's infecting everything. Infected Among Us, it's affecting the chatbots. Oh god, how long until it infects everyone else? No raffle today? Oh, there is raffle today, absolutely. There is raffle today. So if you do !raffle, Millivoj. Is that Millivoj? Millivoy? I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce that. I'm going to go with Mill. Oh, let's just quickly ban that one. Wonderful. So yeah, if you do !raffle, you'll get the full information about what's happening with the raffle today. There's a cooldown on it, so if one person spams it, the other person who's trying to understand it won't get it. Yeah. Alright, we got a loadout here. Now I've gone for a loadout for the sortie already ahead of time, using stuff that I don't usually use. Because I don't often use Oberon, I don't often use an Astruc or the Rattleguts or the Stropher, despite all four of them being actually rather capable frames. So I'm going to be using those. I have a message I've been ignoring from Tomtronic here, which was exactly as expected. Can I join the sortie? You absolutely can. There we go. Now you see what's also particularly interesting about doing the giveaway this way? Twitch alerts me over the message. It just lets me know if this is the first time you have ever spoken in the chat channel. I'm seeing more than a few new names here. But you guys know exactly how the raffle works. Hey, cheers for lurking. Rattleguts? Yeah, Rattleguts. That's the name of the kit gun. It's the Rattleguts, and therefore I have named it a synonym of Rattleguts. The Shake Innards is your Rattleguts. That's what I've gone for. Alright then, we're gonna have a look at today's sortie. If you want to be part of the sortie, send a message in game to the Kengineer. I'll bring you on into the squad, and we'll take it from there. We have got today Corpus mission with that ugly guy. We've got a Spy mission, Augmented Enemy Shields. We've got a mobile defense with enemy physical enhancement and a rescue of enemy elemental enhancement. They got some kind of tank, and some kind of tank that we gotta figure our way through today. I got some answers to that. So yeah, let's smash on through that. Quintus, hey there. Cheers. Cheers indeed, my friend. So yeah, send a message to the engineer. Oh, there we are. I'll bring on into the squad. There is XS. Wonderful. We got one more slot open then, because we got Zon here already with their Evara Prime. Just got one more space open. Before we go diving in, get a full squad. Why not? You know, we're all here anyway. So what? 40 of you? That's enough to get a squad going. What build have I actually got on here? I didn't actually check the build earlier. Let's see. So I've got basic health tank, prime sure-footed, got smite infusion to give me some radiation output as well, and then just a few casting stats to keep the whole lot running. I can work with that. I can work with it. Urban Reanimator saying, came here from YouTube. You guys have been helping me figure out how to properly build weapons and frames. Awesome. I mean, that's exactly what they're there for. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. With the Natruck, I've modded it for viral, and I have, of course, got on here some hunt munitions, so I've got slash viral on that setup. My shakinets, I've got set up for a toxin build, and then the Stropher, I've gone for a radiation heavy attack build, so I'm covered for basically anything the Corpus can throw at me. Basically anything. Let's do this. We got our squad. I'm fine with 3, I'm fine with 3. In fact, you know what? Seeing it's a spy mission, let's narrow it down. We'll have a thingy each. Everyone needs rank 30 Warframe. Excess. You can't be leveling off this until you're MR30. You need to be MR30 to bring an underranked frame. And it needs to be formed. Yeah, no Zephyr Prime for you, my dude. No Zephyr Prime for you. But, oh, he switched to go. I don't need to say that anymore. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm bringing Oberon to a spy mission. I don't care. I don't care. If I can do them with Grendel, I can do them with Oberon. So, we'll be fine. I mean, what's more stealthy, you know? Someone who comes in all sneaky ninja style, just alerting everyone to the idea that you're going to try and be sneaky, or Mr. Grassy Radiation Boy, where everyone's like, oh, what's he doing here? Probably not stealing from vaults, because why would he try and do that when he could, you know, be sneaky? Clearly can't be doing that. Surprise, I am. And I'm doing it with Toxin on this weapon, so your augmented shields are doing a diddly squat. Infinite ammo bullet hose. I mean, just look at how that just tears through them. What are those shields even trying to do? Because they're doing nothing. I'm basically just ignoring the shields and going straight for the kill. Alright, I'm going to slip on over to this B because it's right here. So why not? I feel like I have annoyed basically everything in that general area, so I'm just going to go in the door. Alrighty, we got this one. I thought I'd messed up for a moment there, but no, that was just a general mission alarm. Good. There we go. Not sure why my screen shook, but it's okay. Whoop. Let's wait for that camera to go the other way. Thank you. Apparently there was an enemy behind me, but it's fine. Okay, no, it's not fine. There we go. Whee. Easy peasy. No risk whatsoever. We got it. Strong rattle guts? I mean, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. What am I getting zapped by? Oh, it's that thing. It's pretty decent. The main thing is, though, that in the sortie, certainly at the first stage of the sortie, the enemies are pretty weak. You know, a properly modded weapon can sneeze on them, and I properly modded for Toxin to just bypass the entire defense of this extra level. At level 52, yeah, I'll just punch him in the face. It just kind of works its way through them. Haven't even used an ability. Huh. Why not now? Hijack, mobile defense, ambulance assassination, your nightmare sortie. I'll take you one further from that. I'll take you one further. Hijack, I don't find too terrible. So how about radiation defection? That's your first order. You get started with a radiation defection. And then you follow it up with a defense on the Corpus ship tile set. So you got it really nice and long, and you give the enemies elemental enhancement there to make them that bit stronger against every kind of AoE nuke you can normally come across, Equinox aside. And then you wrap it up with the Ambular Sortie. That's when you finish off with that. And if you go in the Ambulance one, wrap it up with a magnetic bonus. If you can. Oh wait, no, we've done the elemental on the first stage and the second stage. And maybe magnetic anomalies. That's still going to be annoying. Just zones of magnetic anomalies messing you up. I think that would be pretty much the worst one. Yeah, that would really do it. Alright, let's head on to this one. We've got enemies have bonus puncture and resistance to physical damage. We don't need to worry about that. We're going to be fine. Oberon, Equinox, Ash. I mean, is that not just a classical, squad? 3 frames you see in every single trailer for Warframe. Totes. That sounds painful? Yeah. That would be absolutely the most devastating I could think of, because the defense mission would take forever. You'd have the really long ambulance mission, and the defection bit, horrible. Just horrible. But luckily we haven't got that. There's no defection, there's no defense. We've had a spy, easy peasy. Now we've got a mobile defense. That's not too big of an issue. At least mobile defense, it's a fixed time. So whilst you can't make it faster, it also can't get slower. That is a positive to think about. It cannot get slower. Activate that. Got some just gentle healing on the entire squad. There we are, so that's covered. I don't really want to be using Nasruk right now. I could just rattle guts and just kind of... Okay, let's not get too close to them. I'm not in my usual tank frames. Gotta remember that. Gotta play this a little bit more sensibly than I usually would. In fact, I could do with some more energy. Let's grab that, thank you. Let's do this. So now we get some extra armor. That should go a long way. Let's not step into nullifying zones, thank you very much. You can join our cause as well. Ta-da! Hey Raynuva, you know that way, don't worry about it, we're on the second mission of the sortie. Due to some technical difficulties at the start. You don't understand how some people can play on main Oberon? Well, playing it, because I've not already had a lot of time on Oberon. I thought, you know what, let's give him some screen time. As for maining him, yeah, I don't understand it either. He doesn't really excite me as a frame. Yeah, I've got the default Oberon kit here. I've got no subsumed abilities. Just straight up natural Oberon with all of his natural flavors, and it just does not excite me at all. He can be somewhat tanky. I've not focused this build on too much tank because usually we just kind of slaughter this tier, you know? We just kind of handle. I could have sworn there was an enemy over there. Maybe they just fell over. But yeah, I don't find him all that interesting a frame to actually play, just generally. Which is why you don't see much of him on the stream. I think part of it is that pretty much all of his kit is set and forget. Like Smite Infusion, the actual Smite ability isn't really that amazing for most gameplay. There are some places where it works, but they are the exception, not the rule. And Smite Infusion is a set and forget ability. His third ability is quite literally set and forget. Just don't get nullified, it's there forever. Hallowed Ground, you just cast it every now and then where you want to be. If you're on the move, it's generally just not useful to you. The only remaining ability which is of any real interest in active gameplay is the one that costs the most, and even then it's not actually all that powerful. A little bit of crowd control, a lot of bit of radiation, and then you're done. Yeah. He definitely shows his age as a frame for less interest. Like a fan say, hey, Kenji here. Thank you so much for your YouTube videos. They're great to watch, super helpful. Glad I finally got to catch a stream. Welcome to the stream, my dude. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're at a good time. We're just at the start of it. Why is my health bar purple? So the shields bit of my health bar is purple. That's my shields. And they are that colour because I have overshields. I currently have more shields than the default maximum for the frame. So someone somehow has added shields to me. Probably myself, but it could be someone else. In fact, looking at my entire team has that. It's probably someone on my team that has done that. Let's see. We got Equinox and Ash. It's going to be Equinox. So one of the Equinox abilities, her fourth ability in Night form, means that you gain shields on kill, and that can give you overshields. You see, as my shields drain, it goes back into the blue again. Yeah. Purple means overshields. You'll very, very rarely see it in damage on enemies as well. Some shielded enemies can get overshields. Usually speaking, it's just a Warframe thing. All overshield is more shield hit points than your normal maximum. Most things will just restore your shields to your maximum. Some things can give you more shields than max, and every frame has the same overshield limit. Every frame can have 1,200 overshields, with the single exception of those frames which have no shields, they just can't gain overshields, and Harrow. Harrow's passive gives him double overshields. Otherwise, it's 1,200 max. But yeah, overshields are just extra shield hit points that are added on by abilities and circumstances. How do you calculate an increase going from 0 to 2 in that case, Renuva? It depends on what kind of an increase you're trying to measure. So you say going from 1 to 2 is a 100% increase, and it is a 100% increase from where you were. Usually speaking, that will be considered a 100% increase, yes. But by that same token then, if you're going from 0 to 2, or 0 to any positive number, that's an infinite increase, because you're not increasing from what you had before, you are creating something new. 0 is the actual absence of something in that regard. So, mathematically speaking, if you use the same formula or same approach of understanding as going from 1 to 2 is 100%, 0 to anything is infinite percent. Basically saying that the question you are asking isn't probably the right question to be asking. That's what it basically says at that point. You made overshields pink? Yeah, fair enough. I see pink and purple pretty much just as easily as each other, but fair do. Alright, we're on to the third and final stage of the sortie. As this gets loading in, let's quickly throw up the prediction for it, guys. You can use your channel points for this, including those ones you would have used on the raffle, but now we're not today. So, yeah, what reward do you think we're going to get from today's sortie? Grab those blue spanners at the bottom of your chat window. Make a prediction. You can gamble with as few as 10 or as many as, well, many as you have if you really want to. Just type in a custom amount. What do you think we're going to get? Is it going to be an Anasa Sculpture or Endo? Or is it going to be literally anything else? It's a roughly 40-60 split.
That is vital to our operations.
You're MR4, sorry, can't kill above level 25. I mean, if you're MR4 and struggling, that just means you need to upgrade your mods. Straight up. At that level, if you're struggling, you need to upgrade your mods. You need to be modding more sensibly with what you've got and focusing on what your weapons are capable of doing. Upgrading your weapons will go a long way as well. Oh, shit. Okay, I should have paid more attention. What was the bonus damage type they've got in this elemental enhancement? I didn't pay attention to it. I did not pay attention to what bonus damage they got. That'll certainly do it.
Rescue the hostage before it finishes.
I realised I didn't even think to check that. I just went, yeah, we're going to be fine. Oberon is not fine. Oberon is very much not fine. Look like corrosive? Okay. I mean, corrosive will hurt a bit, but I don't think it will hurt that much. I'm just going to make my way through this mission. Yeah, without seeing a damage proc from an enemy, I won't know for certain until we finish the mission. Is it viral? Oh dear. That would explain my quick and untimely demise, wouldn't it? Yeah, viral will hurt you.
The hostage is almost out of time. Hurry.
Oh, didn't mean to grab that. I'm just jumping like an idiot. There we go. There was someone down here. Yep, it's viral. I can see the viral proc. It's viral. That's a big yikes right there. You've got that one, and that's the only one. Oh, that's... Okay. Let's go. Yeah, viral is a nasty one if you haven't built to actually defend it. Because once those viral procs start hitting you from those proc-happy enemies, that's going to do you in, as you saw. It works on us just the same as it works at enemies. We rarely see viral procs from enemies, so salty with them. That's a big yikes right there. It's about equivalent to upgrading the enemy level, probably from about 100 to 500, I'd say. Somewhere around that, I'd guess. In terms of damage output, that's pretty mad. But yeah. I would like it if there were elemental metas for different circumstances, more than there currently are. As it stands, Viral is a little bit over the top, as is Slash. But in any case, mission complete, nice and safely, no one died. And we got 6,000 Kuva. 6,000 Kuva. So those of you who thought it would be not Endo, you're right. All 8 of you there, you're absolutely right. You get back more than double spanners this time, as there were quite some big gambles on the other side. Zer's losing out 5,000 spanners there. Oof, my dude. Oof. But I'm sure Sly 500 is enjoying having over 6,000 spanners back from that one. There we are. There is a good reason why Oberon is not used much. He doesn't seem to do a lot, and then when the one time there is actually damage incoming he needs to worry about, he died. Yeah. There is a reason we don't see too much Oberon, isn't there? It's not that great, is he? There are things you can do with him to make him okay, but it's not really that great. Imagine if Lich Sisters had a corrosive or slash progenitor. That would be a little bit mad, Yokizo. That would be a little bit mad, yeah. The corrosive, maybe not so much, but even then it would be still, you know, something to talk about. But the slash one, oh yeah. Slash, that would be insane. Just play 60% slash on anything. A genuine 60% slash, not a 60% slash mod. That would be... Whew. That would do quite a bit. Especially for secondary weapons, because they don't have hunter munitions. Corrosive, so you can mod viral corrosive on everything? Well, I mean, you get the occasional corrosive proc, but with a typical viral modding and innate 60% corrosive, let me see, you'd have... Honestly, not a lot of corrosive at that point. I'm trying to think how much you'd have. It's not coming to mind straight away. Math isn't there at the moment. I'd need to grab a calculator. Let's do it. I got a calculator. 60% corrosive divided by base damage plus that. And let's say you use 60/60 mods for your viral. You'd have about 21% corrosive. That's more than expected, actually. I thought it was going to be just under 20%. Never mind. Still a bit low, but workable. Depending on how many hits you intend to hit the enemy with, I suppose. Yeah, if there was a viral one for a weapon, that would basically be the meta. Would be Kuva weapon with viral. Done. That would just be it. I saw you, Rainover. I saw you. I caught that. Kuva Ogress, imagine viral corrosive Kuva Ogress. Yeah, that could get a bit of work done. I don't know if you need to use it for priming at that point. You could probably just, you know, kill with that. That would murder pretty damn well. That would murder pretty damn well. Alrighty then. So, as I mentioned, as I've titled on the stream, what I want to do is have a look at all of the Kuva and Tenet weaponry. Here's all the Kuva primaries. There's quite a few primaries, aren't there? You know, when you consider there's 19 Kuva weapons, and we got 10 of them are primary. That's quite a bit. But I want to be having a look here and see if we can't figure out what's the optimal way to go each and every single one of these. Part of what makes that question a little bit more involved is because that some of these come with different damage types, especially with the Tenet weapons. They have some basic elements built into them, not just some combination ones like blast or radiation. No spanners for the raffle anymore. It's for today, Mythic Spirit. Normally I'd like to use it on the raffle there. Normally the channel points, just because of the way it interacts with the other functions of it. So it gives me a better record of things. It allows me to run the spinner on the stream there. Because that's broken today, and it really did break, not sure how or why. But because it's broken, same as we had on Wednesday, we're using an alternative giveaway system. So it's not the way I'd like to do it, but it's the way we're doing it today, Mythic Spirit. It's the way we're doing it. But yeah, so with all of these, now with some of these weapons, we got the Kuva Brahma, that one has innate blast. We got the Kuva Shaka, that one's got innate blast. Got the Kuva Tsar, again innate blast. We've got the Kuva Tonkor with innate blast. I believe the Kuva Ogress has innate blast. So those ones there all have innate blast in them, which won't interact with your elemental modding, but it will interact with the status output you've got to an extent. And then most of the others up at this in the primaries are just IPs. We got physicals only there, physicals there with an interesting yeah, it's just over this side, physicals there. Over here we got physical only, over here we've got physical only. And here on the Kuva character it's all physical only. So we've either got blast or physical on all of these ones, which should be pretty easy to narrow down, especially with the likes of Hunter Munitions going around. Is this going to be a video? Yeah, I am going to be doing a video on this topic. It's not going to be straight from the stream. I'm going to do a proper put together video on this, but absolutely there's going to be a video on it. 100%. Expect me to have every weapon formed 5 times? Shepherd of Fire, do you know how many formers that would be? Christ on a bike. I went through so many resources just for the melee comparison video, and that was doing, what, a dozen or so? A couple dozen weapons? To a max of 2 former apiece. So like, whilst I've got some ridiculous former on, say, the Icarius, the Gaze Kit Gun here, I've got 4 on the Comac, 5 on the Magnus. Most of the times, I can't really take the time to go ahead and former all this stuff all that much. Like, that's a hell of a lot of former. I certainly wouldn't be able to build that much, and so I would need to be spending platinum, and 5 former a piece, you're looking at, what, about 60 platter weapons? Somewhere in that ballpark? That's a heck of a lot. Yeah, close to 60 plats, and then you add on the Orokin Catalyst, that's 80 plat a piece. Is dual Comac good? I've not used the dual Comac, the twin Comac all that much. Where is that? It's somewhere down here, twin Comac. Yeah, I've barely used this weapon. It's going to be alright, I'd imagine. It's got one hell of a status chance on it. I mostly use the Comac over the twin, not because it may be better or worse, but for the very simple reason that I have a God tier ribbon on it. I have a plus 91.6% fire rate, plus 296% damage, plus 161% multi-shot. Even with the minus damage to Grineer there, this still deals an obscene amount of damage to Grineer and just wrecks every other faction completely. It's not quite a God tier, but it is still nearly a God tier. That negative isn't as bad a negative as it could be, and so the Comac with that, thanks to the 5 pips, is absolutely insane. Without the Riven, it's nowhere near as good as a weapon. It still can be good, but it's nowhere near as good. As you'll be able to get either the damage or the fire rate into there, you wouldn't be able to get that multi-shot in, and it hasn't really got crit stats to work with, so you run out of options very quickly for this final slot. But yeah, the Comac is fun to work with. It doesn't scale indefinitely, but it can certainly get some work done. At that stage, if you were to go without this one here, you'd probably be looking at slotting in Hornet Strike instead, but you're losing all that fire rate and multi-shot there. Aside from that, as I say, the crits won't really do much. You could go for maybe a anti-faction mod could do you well, but then you're starting to struggle. Compared to the twin, let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at the comparison of the stats there, shall we? So the twin is boasting double the magazine, slightly higher fire rate, otherwise it's basically the same. Accuracy doesn't really matter, it's a shotgun, like why are you trying to snipe with it? And the reload, 0.2 seconds difference is, it's nothing really. You're not going to notice the difference that much. Otherwise they are very, very similar. Very, very similar at that point. One lasts longer because you've got 2 magazines effectively. So yeah, Twin Comac is, I'd say, just pretty much an upgrade. Pretty much an upgrade. But I can't use the Comac Rivet on the Twin Comac. Go figure. Just can't. Hello Koita, how are you doing today? What dual pistols would I recommend? Are there any shotgun pistols that are good? As I say, the Comac will at least get you somewhere. Dual pistols, you got twin Gractors, depending on your mastery rank. That can do you pretty nicely. It's got some pretty insane critical multiplier as twin Gractors. So that can do you well for a minute there. Zom, I'll work through bits and pieces. I'm not going to jump around. Also, that should probably be in the Twitch chat. But thanks, Zom. So let's have a look at the other bits and pieces. Akbolto Prime, I probably wouldn't recommend too much. I mean, it's got some pretty insane crit stats. But if I recall correctly, they are semi-auto and projectile travel time, all that kind of stuff. Dex picks, yeah, well, that's an exalted weapon, a depth tower, that's a bit of difference. Tenet Diplos, how could I forget? Tenet Diplos, they're absolutely mad. They're absolutely mad. Pinpoint accuracy, except for the fact they have some serious recoil. Good fire rate, hella good magazine. Those crit stats are stonks right there. The only downside is the status chance is relatively low, but you've got a good fire rate. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, Tenet Diplos can do absolutely amazing work in terms of the dual secondary arena. Twin Comac's probably going to be about the same level as Comac, as we've just looked at there. After that point, you can see we're getting really low usage here, so I can't really speak too much on these ones. The Aximati Prime, look at the stats there. Those are some good crit stats, but the damage goes down a bit in ways I probably wouldn't be too happy with. Fire rate works with it, though. Aklex Prime is probably just a beam. But yeah, try them out. There's quite a number of them, so try them out. You're mostly looking for the better stats. Would the Pyrana Prime count as dual pistol? Rainuva, what would you think? What would you think? Looking at this right now, look at the way that I'm holding this weapon. Would you say that this is actually a dual secondary? Or is it one that just happens to bring in some curious little... what's the word? Curious quirk. I wouldn't call this a dual secondary. It just happens to bring out an ethereal extra from time to time. Don't know if Viper and Gractors are boss level 5 forever. I think they do have those. Yes, Uploadite, you're right. I think so. Log, you should go for all the Tenet weapons. All the Tenet and all the Kuva weapons, they are solid all round, honestly. So you won't go too wrong there. Tenet Tetra, Tenet Arcoplasmal, Tenet Flux Rifle, Tenet Envoy especially. Oh, that's a good weapon, that one is. But yeah, they're all good pickups. And you get mastery points at the same time without having to build weapons, you know, that's also worth it. I'm not sure on that, Uploadite. Best to check the wiki page on that one. Best to check the wiki page. If it's something that can be read as a single line on the Wikipedia, probably best to check the wiki page. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, with regards to damage types, these ones, the Tenet weapons is where things start to get interesting. You've got the Tenet Tetra here, which can throw out a blast grenade, so that's not really the difference, otherwise it's just physical damage. Arcoplasmal is radiation, so a bit odd, but doesn't change your elemental modding all that much. You've got the Flux Rifle, which is just puncture slash of all things. Impact can, you know, do one. And then you got the Envoy, which is cold on its explosion. Not blast, cold on its explosion. And that is why I have a Toxin one. That one pretty much sells itself. You know how that one works out. Onto the secondaries, though. That's where things get a little bit more interesting. The Detron here is pure radiation. But the Cycron is pure heat. And the Spirex is a combination of physical and heat with a radial heat. And I'll be honest, when it comes to innate elements, heat is one of the more restrictive, in my opinion. It's one of the more restrictive. Alright, you take care, Ceremitus. We'll see you next time, or when you get a chance to charge up. So, yeah. The thing with the heat on these is because of how that interacts with the H-set system. If you start applying external bonuses or progenitor bonuses to anything other than heat, so if you try for cold, toxin, or electric, putting those onto a heat weapon, it's going to combine with the heat. But then any single mod is going to combine with the heat and leave the progenitor bonus on its own. And the things that heat combines into aren't really that good. You've got Blast, which is terrible. You've got gas, which is really underwhelming these days. It's not as bad as blast, but it's still pretty bad. And then you've got radiation, which whilst it is decent, it is limited in how decent it can be. You've got the kind of crowd control aspect from the status effect, kind of useful, but not really huge. And radiation damage with its bonus against alloy armor is amazing, but just for alloy armored enemies. It's not a very wide applying thing there. In any mission, you'll find that you'll need something else on top of that radiation. So heat's combination options aren't all that amazing, and it's not like you put a slight toxin in there and put in a cold mod to get viral heat. Game doesn't work that way. You do it that way, you'll end up with blast toxin. It needs that. So yeah, heat's a bit of a wild card, and I would say, generally speaking, don't know how you guys feel on this, but generally speaking, if you've got heat as a bonus, either you just double down and go for more heat, just ramping up the status chance, or you could go for the options of radiation or magnetic. First of all, it's not going to interfere with the HSET system. Second of all, it's going to give you a different damage type if you're looking to scale up your damage using what's it called? Say the galvanized status chance mods. Your condition overload, as some people call them. And you'll get that little bit of status proc in there. Magnetic, helpful for dealing with the corpus, radiation for dealing with things like Xmas units and just general crowd control. Mostly just allowing the heat to not get meddled with. And then you can still just mod in your standard viral heat setup if you want to. I mean, how do you guys feel on that overall? Urban Reanimate saying, go with heat if the weapon won't mess it up. Otherwise go with toxin. So that's what I'm looking at, mate. That's what I'm looking at here, is what options are actually the best ones. Not just what we feel is simple enough to go for as a general all-purpose answer, because general all-purpose answers, frankly, they're not good enough for the amount of effort we put into these weapons, are they? For the amount of effort that goes into not just getting these weapons, but then maxing them out 5 former, we want to make sure we're getting something really worthwhile, especially when you then farm multiples to get the max 60% bonus. As a primed heat mod for secondaries, there is that, yeah. Which is another reason to just double down on the heat viral setup, but that's still a triple elemental modding setup. Okay? Let's see. Yeah, I've gone for the viral heat setup on this one before I formed it at all. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Heat viral just kind of works. Speaking of this one, yeah, I've gone for, interestingly enough, lots of viral, not a lot of heat. I wouldn't actually recommend that. I think I can see why I did that though, because that wouldn't fit there. That polarity is over here. Here we go. I've already got one down here. Never mind. It's all good. So yeah, that would be a more sensible setup. You lose some of that status this way, but with more form, you'll be able to get it back in. In fact, if I search, I have. There we go. That would work. And Psychon is one where you do want to be going heavy on that status, because these crit stats, they're not the worst, but they're not great. You know, below 2 times multiplier is pretty poor, and 20% crit chance, it's middle ground. You know, it's nothing to write home about, but it's pretty middle ground. You can min-max for each faction, says Adept from Tower. Am I looking for best all-purpose build? I'm looking for the best all-purpose element, which allows you to get the builds for different factions. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be farming up a 60% of multiple different elements. That's a hell of a lot of farming. That really is. That's asking far too much at that point, in my opinion. Whereas getting just one weapon to that 5 former point, that's understandable. That's fair. Having multiple weapons with multiple sets of former in just to try and get every last little bit of min-max out, I mean, fair enough if you want to do it, but that's not what I want to recommend. But it is reasonable for someone within their Warframe career progression, as it were, to want to go to a full 5 former on each Tenet weapon eventually. So I'd say with these heat-focused ones, heat, magnetic, radiation, they're going to be the go-tos. And I don't recommend Impact whatsoever, despite the fact that it doesn't mess with elemental modding, for the simple reason that Impact is an absolute waste of space on these weapons. Don't do it. Really, do not do it. If you are thinking, oh, but what about the hemorrhage mod? Go check out my video on the hemorrhage mods to see if it's worthwhile. It's not. It's not. I'll give you a much better idea as to why and what you should do instead in that video. What does magnetic do? So magnetic does a few different things. First of all, it prevents shields from recharging. Second of all, it enhances the damage against shields, just like viral enhances damage against health. And thirdly, it prevents energy regeneration. It reduces the energy of the target. Now, enemies don't have energy. I'm a big proponent of adding to magnetic an effect which stops the enemy from using their abilities, like a Scorpion Grapple, from an Xmas being able to send out its aura or use its dome, those kinds of things. Kind of like how Banshee Silence does exactly the same thing. Basically, take Silence effect, make it what magnetic does but without the staggering. That's what I would like for magnetic to do, so that it applies to more than just shields. But otherwise, basically, magnetic just makes shields take more damage and not regenerate. Once the magnetic proc goes, they can regenerate naturally again. And for the Tenno, we also lose energy, because screw us, we get hit harder. But yeah, magnetic is not in a good place, especially because Toxin exists. So when you're fighting the Corpus, if you could just bypass their shields and go straight through with Toxin, that just works most of the time. So magnetic gets shafted again. Kind of a problem. My honest opinion, kind of a problem. The only reason Toxic isn't that overpowering in the Corpus is because some units are armoured and you can't use Viral at the same time without switching weapons or doing something really funky. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Magnetic. It could be cool. It should be cool. It sounds cool. Magnetic damage. Ooh. No, it's just not. Where does Corrosive stand? Corrosive's in an interesting place. It used to be that Corrosive procs were absolutely the bee's knees, and so therefore Corrosive was just the winning damage type. That's changed, so now Corrosive is a direct damage type you want to be focusing on. If you're going for direct damage builds, that is. So like, on my Cambion Drift Foreman, reason I got it set up that way, Cambion Drift, enemies there are immune to viral procs mostly. So we use the Corrosive. Direct damage burns through ferrite armor amazingly. It is the single best thing for dealing with ferrite armor, which makes it the single best thing for dealing with various enemy types, such as for example Kuva Liches. No other damage type compares to Corrosive in that arena. But if you are able to apply status procs, certainly if you're able to apply slash and viral to any heavy amount, then Corrosive just falls off very quickly. So direct damage it wins that, but scaling that up doesn't work anywhere near as well as you slash viral against armoured units. And if you're not against armoured units, Corrosive doesn't matter anywhere near as much. It's an interesting spot. It's got its place. I'm happy with the place of Corrosive, because it's not a bad spot. It's just not a dominating spot. I'm happy with the place of Corrosive. So I'm saying, if you see a magnetic bonus on a weapon, it's almost certainly just for extra status effect. It doesn't affect modding, yep, very right. Pretty much it's just for that, and also the token benefit against the Corpus, but mostly it's for that, yeah. Would electric be good for a multi-purpose build, says the Urban Reanimator. A build into corrosive radiation magnetic, which recover all base weapons that don't have an innate element. So, honestly, I wouldn't go that way. I would go for Toxin. Because then you have innate Toxin when you were just one Toxin. You can one mod into Viral, which you can't do with the electric bonus. With an electric bonus, you have to do 2 mods into Viral, which is just like a normal weapon. And you can try out gas. It's not necessary, but you can try out gas down that route. But mostly it's the choice between Toxin for the Corpus and Viral for the not Corpus. You can, of course, also still go Corrosive with a Toxin build as well. So you got the direct damage method there too. So between 3 of them, that covers all the bases far better than having electric does as a go-to option. If robotic health was immune to Toxin, magnetic would have some niche. I see what you're saying there, Zers. I don't know if that's a good idea to have this thing that bypasses shields but then does absolutely nothing to the target anyway, despite bypassing their shields. I don't know if that would be a good way about going things, to be quite honest there. I'm not sure what would be the right way, but yeah. Having it where a Toxin build only deals with the biological units within the Corpus, that could be a bit shaky. The robotics already have a 50% reduction, don't forget. We have already got a strength against Toxin there. You thought magnetic would work like the void status actually does? I get you, yeah. Sarin would still not care? True. Sarin just burns through everything. You can use Sarin to give a weapon corrosive damage, toxin damage, radiation damage, all at the same time, on top of dealing corrosive through her spores and viral through her miasma, all simultaneously. The radiation coming from a subsumed ability, that is. So corrosive, radiation, toxin added to your weapon, viral corrosive being thrown out separately as well. She's mad for damage types. Absolutely mad. Yeah, Toxic Lash being an independent bonus as well is very powerful. It doesn't interfere with modding, it just adds on. It's even better. The thing with Sarin is that she is flimsy. Sarin is a very flimsy frame. She works by just killing the enemies so damn fast they've got nothing left to shoot with. Now, if we look at my standard go-to, deals with most things build, Sarin, and this isn't one which has a Smite Infusion on, you see I've gone for the range, kept the strength about neutral, got some duration and efficiency working here. My entire defense is basically don't get knocked down, have a few extra hit points just in case. That's my defense. That's it. Otherwise, I'm focusing on Jarl infected now. You're going to be staggered, you're going to be hit constantly, your armor's going to be stripped away. Oh, what's that? You got shields? No, you haven't. I'm just going to ignore those. Oh, what's that? You think your health is good? Nope, I'm just going to enhance the damage and enhance the damage of this and just spread everything everywhere. By the time an enemy wants to shoot at Sarin, they're already dead. You've got Molt as well there for clearing status procs on yourself if you do get hit with something nasty, and just distracting the enemy a little bit. With a speed boost, but that's only really relevant to Wukong, not really to Sarin. So the main focus with Sarin, she's a glass cannon. You murder things so quickly they don't have time to become a threat. If they're shooting at you consistently enough that your shield gate is breaking and you're dipping hard into this health pool, hate to tell you, you're not killing hard enough. Now you can go, yeah, as Zom's pointing out, you can go other ways as well. So like, for example, you can subsume on Gloom. I think I've done that on, oh, I must have taken it off this Sarin. You can put Gloom onto Sarin. Gloom is just a very powerful ability. Gloom, again, isn't focused on defense. It's focused on the enemy don't even shoot you in the first place. And the same kind of goes with Condemn. As much as it builds shields, it's mostly locking down the enemies. They can't shoot you. The Molt Augment is a bit of a... yeah. Because like, if you look at this one here, Sarin regenerates 50 health a second for 10 seconds on casting Molt. 500 health healing base amount there. That's actually pretty decent. 500 healing for a quick spam ability. That's not bad. The only problem is, not only is it health over time, but that's health. You don't have much defense in health here. Now, even with this mod on, yeah, sure, I've got 925 health, I've got 300 armor, reducing the damage incoming by half. But that's not going to get you very far. That's effectively, this can deal with 1000 damage. This fixes 1000 damage incoming. Now let's compare that to a tanky frame. Let's compare that to my Lavos, if I could spell Lavos correctly. When you have a look at Lavos here, straight away I've got armor giving me 83.7% reduction on any incoming damage, and then I'm using adaptation, which is going to bring that down another 90%. So if we do 0.1 times 1 minus 0.837, so our total incoming damage is going to be 1.63%. Or in other words, 1000 damage becomes 16.3 damage on Lavos. So where Sarin would need to heal 500 health, Lavos with this build would need to heal 16. Sarin can't keep up with that. Her healing simply isn't good enough, because if you've seen me use Lavos, you've seen how many hit points he burns through. You've seen how many hit points he can burn through, and then he just heals them back up again, because he doesn't care. He shows you how you can tank with health. Sarin can't do that, so her Molt Augment, unfortunately, is kind of planning for failure. You want to be using other sources of healing on her. I've got Arcane Grace just as a general top-up. My Sentinel will do a general top-up. If you've not got any of those, you want to find another way of getting healing. that augment probably isn't the way to go, because that means you're not focusing on killing enemies. I just wouldn't recommend it, honestly. Can you get a Mesa build? Yeah, let's bring up a Mesa build real quickly. Let's bring up a Mesa build. What's my go-to Mesa build? It is this one. This is my Mesa Prime go-to build. We don't need range because, hey, what range are we working with? It means that shooting gallery is relatively ineffective, but honestly, it's not that a deal. It's not that much of a deal. Instead, we got the strength to max out Shatter Shield. The strength also means that Peacemaker is going to be stronger, and Dispensary got subsumed on is even stronger too. Putting this all together, Equilibrium is very powerful for this build because of those health orbs being cast out by Dispensary. My Sentinel allows me to always pick up health orbs. This means a hell of a lot of energy is coming into Mesa. Arcane Energize as well. I'm just making sure I never ever worry about energy, which is crucial for a frame where when Shatter Shield vanishes, she basically takes 20 times more damage than before. 20-fold damage reduction in one ability is absolutely insane. And you just cast it, that's it. That's all you do. It also reflects the damage back at enemies, but we don't care about that. It's mostly the 20 times damage reduction. It's ridiculous. I've gone quite heavy on the defenses here. You don't need to go this hard. I focus on the extra defenses here, mostly so I can just be a bit lazy. I'm a lazy gamer. Adaptation, stacking with Shatter Shield, the incoming damage is now 200 times lower than base. And Rolling Guard, if things really do get tough, I just roll out of it. Haha, now I'm vulnerable, deal with it. Rolling Guard is very good. If you find yourself in a sticky situation, your energy's messed up, you've got some horrible status blocks incoming, the enemy's just surrounding you at the wrong time, you quickly roll out of it, reposition, and within 3 seconds you're good to go again. Bat, bat, bat. And then Vitality, just to give me enough time to work with this tank. Regulator build? Yeah, let's grab that as well. No Mesa Waltz? Don't need Mesa Waltz. I just bullet jump around. I've got enough energy I can cast or recast Peacemaker at will, so I just bullet jump around. Bullet jump, cast it in midair, blap everything around me, uncast it, move on. Yeah, you don't need to use Mesa Waltz and slowly trudge through the mission. My default Peacemakers, I've got Radiation build here. Probably the last time I shot something I needed Radiation. You can take it pretty much any direction you want, though. You can take it any direction you want. I don't know if this actually works. I don't use Mesa that much to have investigated it, but yeah, be aware. Galvanized mods, they've been funky. We don't know if it's fully working or not at this point. So it might work, it might not, I don't know. But yeah, you can change the damage type as you see fit, otherwise it's a standard crit build. The only downside to this compared to normal secondaries, we've got no arcane to work with. So Hornet Strike is kind of needed. There's no arcane and there's no ribbons, so we're going to have to use that one. How it be. I've not focused on the status here because Mesa focuses on just killing. Should you use Hemorrhage on Mesa's regulators? I wouldn't see much of a use for it, to be honest. Sure, you can get extra slash procs in there, but there's no forced slash on Mesa's regulators as far as I'm aware, so you're just converting what status effects you get from impact into slash occasionally, which is not going to be a lot. Not going to be a lot at all. Instead of that mod slot going on that, you can focus on literally any other mod in this process. Catch you later, Snake Raider. Catch you later. Health armor systems do matter at Depth Tower. They do matter. It's just you have to build into them. You know, my Lavos doesn't survive with nothing. He survives because of a combination of armor, health, and adaptation. These lot are working together to make him survive. You've also got Arcane Grace making it easier to survive because I've just got that constant health coming in. There are other frames which can tank that way, but it's not a tank option that's open to everyone, and that's fine. You'll notice that Lavos doesn't have a tank ability, whereas Mesa has a 95% damage reduction ability. So Mesa, if she goes into a Nullifier bubble or gets hit with melee, she's screwed. Lavos, on the other hand, it can just waltz straight on into a Nullifier. So come at me, my tank is innate, deal with it. How does one shield gate with Lavos? You don't. You don't. Revenant's just invincible? Yep, Revenant's got another way of doing things. He's invincible until the charges run out. So obviously you have to manage your charges carefully. Helps to see if you can kill the the smaller enemies before they start burning down your charges. Problem with Steel Path is the scaling of enemy everything. I mean, Steel Path isn't terrible once you're at the stage where you can actually handle it. If you've got weapons and frames set up to handle the Steel Path, you can handle it. But by the same token, if you're trying to go through the same stuff that got you through the star chart, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle because it is an entirely different way of approaching the mission there. You do have to think more carefully about it. Is the difference between a 20% and 60% Kuva or Tenet weapon noticeable? So it means your base damage goes from 120 to 160% of the original. Although 25 is the minimum you got, so 160 versus 125, that's a 28% increase in damage. From the worst Kuva weapon to the best Kuva weapon in terms of percentage, it's a 28% increase. That's pretty substantial. That is pretty substantial, honestly. Don't know if I can give you a good comparison mod, but let me think. I think that's about the same as if you added a second 60/60 mod to a build. Let me double check on the math on that one. You add a plus. I'm not sure. My head's burning a little bit trying to go through those numbers, but yeah, 28% damage buff. If you want a 28% damage buff, that's what you're looking for there. It is a sizable buff. Your time to kill can be massively reduced, especially with one-shot or limited-shot weaponry. Something like the Fullman here. If I hit an enemy and they survive on anywhere up to 20% of their hit points, then that 28% bonus, if it were to exist on the Fullman as an example, that 28% bonus would have one-shot them. So you go Tenet Envoy, my big go-to for a lot of things these days. This big blappage, if the first hit doesn't kill them, the slash proc will usually come in from hunter munitions. And with that 28% bonus, that's also going to apply to your slash proc. You're reducing the number of ticks needed for that to kill. If you would have needed all 6 seconds of that slash proc, you're definitely bringing that down to the 5, maybe even the 4. Why does Lavos have snakes living up his body? Because he likes snakes. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a snake bro. Nothing wrong with being a snake bro. He likes snakes, and the snakes like him. It's a nice, friendly, happy situation. He's going to bite your face if you question him too much about it. You don't have to build Gauss for Steel Path. One sec. Let's have a look here. Yeah, this should do. Alright, let's give it a try. Sorry, Zom. Demonstration time. Let's do this. Oops, didn't mean to click that. What's my Envoy build? We can have a look at that in just a second. Yeah, let's do this. Alrighty, how do you build Gauss for the Steel Path? Will this work? Won't it work? We'll see very shortly, won't we? So, the Urban Reanimated, that mostly comes down to the definition of meta, because if you don't make your weapons as strong as possible, you are opening yourself up to weaknesses and issues. That's just the way, you know, gear check games work. This is 90% a game done in the arsenal. If you don't build in the arsenal, you lose. If you don't want to lose, build. Now, you can still have some variety, depending on the weapons you bring and exactly what mission you try. Indeed, I've got so much overkill here, there is a certain amount of extra power I probably don't need. Alright, let's activate that red line fully. There we go. Let's get that extra reload speed and fire rate going. And as you can see, we're kind of now just tearing our way through this. If you wonder if your Gauss can actually survive, well, part of it is going to be the right weapon, and part of it is just... Oh, bruh. Do you want to shoot me yet? Do you want to shoot me? Anyone? Anyone want to try and murder me? You know, come on. Just a single Warframe here, not even trying to kill ya. Hello? Yeah. He seems to handle pretty well, I'd say. He seems to handle pretty well when you have his defense abilities all up. Now, I am burning through my battery there, kind of dancing around. You have to keep your battery up. But yeah, he can tank pretty damn handily. And the reload speed is very nice for a weapon like the an Envoy here. Very quick reload. It feels like a much more standard weapon. Recast all those buffs because why not have all the buffs? And you can see my energy is absolutely laughing as well. I'm on full energy. I've just cast all 3 of my abilities at once. So I hope this has made it very clear that Gauss can work pretty well. If you just copy the build that I'm using on him at the moment, you'll be laughing. You will be laughing. You wonder why such an overpowered defensive frame is also such an incredible weapons platform. With also all of the speed in the world. You know? Oh, I want to be over here now. Cool. Pretty damn good. I have skipped Thermal Transfer and Thermal Sunder on this build because it doesn't need it. That's part of building, is that you can go different ways. I've skipped out a very powerful part of this kit because I just don't need it. Shepherd of Fire, if you click onto the stream at the moment, you should see the Warframe Arsenal plugin. And if you tap into that there, it will show you what builds I'm using on Gauss and on my Tenet Envoy. You main Nidus, do you? Oh, okay. Nidus is not a frame I've really gotten on well with. I'll be quite honest with you, he can do some amazing stuff, don't get me wrong. I've never really gotten on with him as a frame overall. His kit just... I don't know, it's just never really connected with me. He's capable, don't get me wrong. He can tank reasonably. Once you got him all set up. He does take a bit of setup though. I've just never really been a fan of him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the infested approach. Just a gooey, icky mess, which I'm not a fan of, you know. I don't like Sarin Fashion for much the same reason. I don't know. Something about him just doesn't click for me. He's good. Very good if you use him correctly. I guess I just haven't. I just don't enjoy trying to do so. But yeah, I think this demonstrates pretty handily. Like, there are going to be people in this chat right now who encounter Steel Path and go, how the hell do you even begin to do that? I'm just kind of walking around talking to you guys, clicking in the general direction of enemies and they're dead. You know, I'm just going to stop moving for a moment, see how long it takes them to hurt me. You're going to crack my shield gate anytime soon? Come on, mate, you can get there. You can get... Oh, he's dead. My Sentinel's doing work now. Oh, okay, my defensibility ran out. That's cheating. I actually had to wait for my defensibility to run out before they could threaten me. What do I think about Zephyr right now? Zephyr's in a good spot. Zephyr is in a good spot. They've got a lot going for them. They've got defense, they've got crowd control, they've got damage bonuses. They've got a lot going for them. They're fine. They are fine. Radio was saying I would probably align better with the Corpus than any other faction. Interesting you say that when so many of my frames have this golden approach from the Orokin template. Not sure which bit we're referring to, but fair enough. All of the factions are horrible, so I don't mind picking one of them. Yeah, you can go melee with this build as well. Let's just do a bit of damage. Flap. Gunblade. Flap. 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 Yeah, all the weapons I usually handle can just handle this. Mania. What you got for me? You got death, that's what you got. Now he's not weak to radiation, so I'm just going to Envoy Blap him. There we go. Is it worth finishing the new war before unlocking Steel Path, or does it matter? It doesn't matter at all. They're unrelated. You can do the new war when you want to do the new war. You can do the Steel Path when you want to do the Steel Path. Steel Path is just hard mode plus. If you never ever touch the Steel Path, the only thing you are missing out on is the primary and secondary arcanes. That's all you are missing out on. Everything else doesn't matter. You can pick up you can pick up Kuva anywhere else, you can pick up Endo anywhere else. You can give yourself difficulty by just not modding your stuff. So, yeah. I just realised we've gone over 5 minutes, I've killed an acolyte, let's leave. I've made my point here. I've made my point. We can go. let's head on out. Which way is the way out? It's over this way. Yep. Can't you get on before? You can get on performance from it, yeah. You can get on performance from other locations as well. So that's why I'm not saying you explicitly miss out. It is another way of getting them. I mean, if you're not doing Steel Path, you probably don't need all performance, let's be honest now. Job done. There we are.
It is done, Tenno.
Shepard, no, I'm not using Prime Sure-Footed because on Gauss, his second ability acts like Prime Sure-Footed. It prevents knockdown. So yeah, kinetic plating, not just defense against all physical damage, against heat, cold, and blast, which is the majority of damage types you'll encounter normally, but it also prevents knockdowns. It's an amazing ability. Absolutely absurdly powerful. Penguin, cheers. So yeah, Gauss is pretty damn solid. Gauss is pretty damn solid. You cannot go wrong with him. Subhuman abilities as you need and want them, but really the only one that's worth looking at is dropping off Thermal Sunder, because Mac Rush is a very, very helpful way of getting your battery up and keeping it up. Kinetic plating, it's your defense, don't touch it. Red line, it's your offense, don't touch it. So this is really the effect slot on Gauss, and that says something considering Thermal Sunder is a very big pick for other Warframes. His kit is just that damn strong. It's just that strong. Now, earlier I was mentioning about having a look at all of these weapons. We've had a look at the secondaries, just kind of a glancing look at them. I need to go back to the Kuva secondaries, so let's do that in order. Let's do that in order. We were working our way through. Interesting, the Twin Rogger is here. Okay, it's in the description. I was going to say. Yeah. Kuva Nucor, we all know about it. Everyone here knows about the Kuva Nucor. Y'all know about it. You know how it works. It's a laser beam, which is ridiculously overpowered because it's got a 5x critical multiplier, and it chains to 2 different enemies at the same time. Can we calm down, Gauss? Jesus, you're going to break my head doing that. Heckin' lord. Alright. Kuva Nucor, it's just mad. In terms of the damage type to add on to it, that is always a little bit of a point of contention for people. That's an interesting one, where some people feel that magnetic is the way to go, some people feel that tox is the way to go, some people feel that heat is the way to go. I think 2 or 3 people still think impact is the way to go. Those people are insane. The Kuva Nucor is incredible for damage and for status application. I mean, that base 50% status chance with a 10 fire rate, without any multi-shot, any benefits, nothing else, just base stats, that's 5 status procs a second, which is already ridiculous. Impact? Yeah, impact. Impact can be picked for the Kuva Nucor. In doing so, it's usually to combine it with the Hemorrhage mod, so you get some slash procs. The damage output on that is pathetic, but they'll be there. And also that means that it can trigger condition overload style effects even harder than magnetic can. But you get impact and slash versus magnetic. It's an extra 1. I highly recommend against it because it limits you to that. And also you got impact procs, which is just kind of overall. It's, yeah, I wouldn't go that way. I've got magnetic on here because it allows me to do every build and have the benefit of an extra status type without having to think about it too much. So it's just kind of there. Impact for setting up powers on finishers? Do people really do that all that much? And do you really need a Kuva Nucor specifically typed for powers on mercy kills? I'd say probably not. I'd say probably not. Is slash better than impact? Yes. Impact will stagger an enemy a little bit. Like, okay, cool. You've made them less active for a second. And it will increase the threshold at which you can activate a Parazon Mercy kill on those specific units you can actually do them on. That doesn't include the Kuva Thralls, which you'll fight against to get a Kuva Lich going, because they only give you the option at 0 health anyway. So, Impact is pretty damn mundane as the status type goes, and Impact damage is plenty ignorable too. It doesn't have anything special to write home about. Slash, on the other hand, deals damage over time, and that damage over time scales with your base damage, it scales with your pure damage mods, your crit damage mods, your faction damage mods twice over, because go figure. And it completely ignores armor. Slash procs don't care about armor. They care about other types of damage reduction, like on a Nox. They just have extra damage reduction, which is why they're so strong. But slash procs just tear through anything armored because they don't care. They literally do not care. Even if you hit the enemy for 5 damage because you've had all of those reduction stacks on you, the slash proc can still deal thousands of damage depending on what target you're hitting. It's insane. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend Impact on a Kuva New Core. I had an Impact Kuva New Core to see how it felt, and it was miserable, to be honest. It's not worth it. Lord of Essays, yikes. Uploadite, this is Twitch, not Reddit. Let's have a look here. Who do I think are the top 3 Warframes lore-wise? I'm going to stop right there, dude. I'm sorry, what is that question? I said to myself the other day, I want to be calling people out less, because I get it. We all have different ways of looking at the game, different ways of going through things, and some people who are new here. But you're not new to the channel or to Warframe, and you just asked me, who do I think are the top 3 Warframes lore-wise? What? What? I mean, where do you even start with such a question? I'm sorry, dude. I cannot give you any answer that will be satisfying in any way, at least to myself. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but yeah, Warframe lore is in a position where I start to have a bit of an aneurysm when I think about it too long. I have to take everything just kind of as it is and not try and connect the dots, because the dots don't connect. You just get scribbles, and I'm not happy with scribbles when it comes to lore, so I try not to think about that too hard. So yeah. Top 3 Warframes lore-wise, I'm already not a fan of just tier lists in general. Certainly when they are generalized tier lists, and I don't even know where I begin with that up to date. So I'm going to leave you to your own opinions there, because I could see just glancing at the rest of that paragraph, you've got your own opinions. I'll leave you to them. I'll leave you to them. And Depth from Tower doesn't get a vote. Adept from Tower clearly has demonstrated they do not deserve a vote in that arena, so do not take their opinion anywhere close to that tier list. I'm rapidly going through this mug and tea. Not that rapidly, we're at 20 past 8, oh, fair enough. Not felt like that long. Now, looking at these other ones, I'll come back to the Kuva Seer in a moment. The Kuva Twin Stubbers, they are just standard physical damage. Again, the Kuva Kraken, standard physical damage. And the Kuva Brak is again standard physical damage. All 3 of these, again, you could probably go Toxin as your standard go-to for purely physical progenitor weaponry. The pure physical with the Toxin, you can achieve Corrosive, you can achieve Viral, you can achieve just Toxin, literal Toxin, with very little effort, and you can just get work done. You can focus on your crit stats, your fire rate, your damage stats, your faction stats, all of that good stuff. Those 3, they all just work in that arena, I'd say. Devatar saying, never finished the story quest for Urali, you can't handle that quest. I had to handle it. Yeah. Now, with the Kuva Seer, this is an interesting weapon. This is a very interesting weapon because it has innate corrosive only on a radial attack that goes out to 2.3 meters, which is not very far. In fact, not only is it not very far, it's also not one you can enhance all that well. Wow, that shows how much I cared about it when I was testing this one. Let's just remove those right now, shall we? There we go. Yeah, so we got Prime Fulmination. If we put this onto here, we got a 3.82 meter range. 3.82 meters is not a lot of range at all. To give you a comparison here, let's just grab my first swingy melee weapon here, the Nikana Prime. This, with my go-to build, has a range of 5.23 meters. 5.23 meters range on that, and the Kuva Seer has an explosion radius of 3.82 with a primed mod expanding that radius. So that is tiny. Do I think if there isn't already going to be some Kuva melee weapons introduced, more ones? There's only one at the moment. I don't know if D are planning to add more. So all I know is there's one at the moment, and that's what we got. Yeah, basically, you know as much as I do on that one. I'm very aware there's only one of them. Oh yeah, so that is a tiny range, and that makes it a curious one, because in normal gameplay, you're going to struggle to really get any value out of that extra range. You're going to really struggle. However, if you group up the enemies, a grouping ability, then you can go far. No potato? Good point, let's fix that. There we are. We got the plat for it. Done. You happy now, Pendragon? Yeah, you are. So yeah, with a grouping ability, this can work well. But without a grouping ability, that 3.82 meter range is embarrassing, quite frankly. It's embarrassing. It will occasionally hit an enemy, but not for much. Part of the reason it's embarrassing is because you've also got some damage fall-off happening as well. So you're going to lose, yeah, only 30% of it, but you're still losing some of the damage out to further range too. 20 plat wasted? Bruh. You call that 20 plat wasted? You call that a waste? You call that a waste? How about this for a waste? There are worse things than spending 20 platinum on a catalyst on a Kuva weapon. There are worse things than that. So, yeah. I consider that one of the bigger wastes on this channel. I think, yeah, it was during the first stream of Urani when we went to go get her. I went down to the dojo. We had to build the room, and so I just rushed the room. The vent kid room. I think rushing that was 100 platinum. Yeah, it happens. Are you performing the ghoul saw? Oh man, my dude. Yikes. That's a big yikes right there. Umbral former on the ghoul saw. That's not a good day. So, looking at this Kuva, coming back to this one now. What you can do on this one, for example, I've currently got innate toxin on here. If I added in a cold mod, I would have corrosive viral on the radiant attack, I'd have viral on the direct attack, but I would have very little damage over time, which is where viral really succeeds in having the slash. There is not that much slash on here. This is a small amount of slash. So I'm not sure if toxin is a great way to go. Because if you just go toxin here, and then you mod for viral, yeah, you can just easily get a viral modding with just one cold mod. But if you want to get some damage over time on that, you'd usually then go for prime heated charge. But hang on, that's now going to combine either with the cold mod to make blast, or if you take out the cold, you've got gas. And you're like, oh god. Do we really want gas? So for this weapon, you'd probably want to go for a viral heat build. More than anything, is what I'd imagine would be a good generalized approach. And at that point, we're running into a couple issues. First of all, I've used 4 mods here, and I haven't even touched the core stats, as it were. So your crits, fire rate, multi-shot, that kind of stuff. No damage, even. Secondly, if we're going for this many elemental mods, and we're going for heat as our damage over time version, do we really want to be having a toxin bonus pulling us towards more viral when we actually want more heat? So I'm thinking the Kuva, because the corrosive doesn't really create anything all that amazing overall, and it's on a radial attack that isn't much of a radius, I'm thinking this is another one where you'd want to go for heat, go for the viral heat setup, because you can't really get much in the way of slash out of it, I'd say. Add on to that, if you're going for the heat viral corrosive, oh man, are you damaging armor. Oh, armor is struggling against that. Because if you're hitting armor, you're also hitting health, so we got the bonus from viral, we got the bonus from corrosive, we got the bonus from heat. Anything armored is just... it's wrecked. The corpus are laughing, the grenadier are not. So I feel like the Kuva is actually one where heat is a good shout. You could go for a pure heat corrosive build, you can go viral heat corrosive build. Both of them work together. But the innate corrosive is nothing to write home about, in my opinion. And the radial attack, again, it's not really anything to write home about. Impact plus hemorrhage, that sounds like a poor idea. That sounds like a poor idea for the same reason I covered in my video on should you be using the hemorrhage and internal bleeding mods. For the Kuva Seer, no. No, I would not recommend going for impact hemorrhage on this one, unless you're looking to do an endurance run, in which case, why are you using the Kuva Seer? There are better weapons for endurance runs. That just sounds like a daft idea in the first place. So, nope, I wouldn't recommend going impact hemorrhage on the Kuva Seer. Whilst you will get slash procs, you will not be getting anywhere near the damage output you could be getting, just to say you got slash procs. Wouldn't go that way. Kuva Seer is a mess? Yeah. From what I'm seeing there, I'd agree. It is. Now with the others here, I looked at them and said maybe Toxin, so you've got the 3 different ways of going, and I'm still sticking with the idea that Toxin is a good way to go on those overall. The slash on this one, it's occupying about half of the damage, yeah, a little bit under half of the damage. That's not great for slash there. So you could instead still go the heat for the heat viral standardized approach. Just being aware that if you do go for heat, it means you can't easily go for a heat toxin build. Because that's gas. You'd need to go for either blast toxin or radiation toxin, and both are not really amazing choices overall for us. With the Kraken here, it's pretty much all impact. That's not a great day. So yeah, again, toxin or heat would probably be the top ones there. In fact, I'm swinging towards for the secondaries, because you got no hunter munitions option. I'm actually prone to saying that maybe heat is the way to go. On all 4 of these, oops, didn't do that. I think maybe on all 4 of these, heat, 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 heat. How are we feeling on that, chat? Because as much as Toxin gives you the viral option, the corrosive option, and the pure toxin option, the corpus don't need that much work. You can get a different weapon, quite frankly. I'm thinking all of these benefit mostly from the heat, because prime heated charge. Can I turn down the music a bit? Oh yeah, sure. How's that for you? I don't actually listen to my stream whilst I'm streaming. I know some people do. I don't know how the fuck that. I can't listen to the stream at the same time as streaming. I have my own voice in my head, and quite frankly, I don't need to hear that from my mouth and my headphones at the same time. So I'm never quite sure exactly what balance you guys get. I'm trusting you guys there. Yeah. Much better? Good, good. Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you have an issue with things like the audio balance on the stream, if something's gone wrong, or if I've accidentally hit the emergency mute button, let me know. Oh, Hester saying, I do have a Kuva Brack innate fire. Turn it into corrosive heat headshot build. Shreds a lot, but not good against the corpus. That makes sense, yeah. Corrosive heat would struggle against the corpus in terms of it's not going to have any of the benefits you could get when fighting the corpus. You've got no toxin, you've got no magnetic there. You could mod in for magnetic heat. I wonder how that would go. What is on that here at the moment? It's toxin, yeah. Because I wonder if you could go a magnetic heat line, if that would make much of a difference. But then you're not going to be firing that much anyway. 2.5 fire rate at base? You're not going to be getting many magnetic procs out there, no. Never mind on that. No, you just want to go full heat, not magnetic heat. What's the most cursed loadout I can remember not expecting to work but did? I mean, it's going to be the randomized loadout that we had versus the Steel Path Ropelo list not too long ago, Quintus. That one's probably right up there. We had the Yeet range, no bonuses, pure Golden Instinct, Valkyr with a randomized weapon loadout, and it was an absolute nightmare. We were so close to timing out on that mission. So close. I had to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. The whole lot. When Barrow? Dunno. I never check. Some Friday somewhere, somehow, somewhen. Every 2 weeks. I never check which week, so it's always a surprise to me. I could easily keep track of Barrow. I just don't. Quite frankly, I just don't. But yeah, that was the most cursed one, Quintus. Miss Fox saying, call me old timer, but I usually go radiation for all Kuva weapons. No, it's not the best, but can't be bothered to min-max them with the ideal elements. See, that's what I'm looking into here, Mr. Fox, is not min-maxing so you have one for this faction, another weapon for this faction. I'm just saying, for each individual weapon, what's the best all-round element so that you can build for the different factions? Because if you're not building for different factions at all, either you've got a weapon as absurdly powerful as Glaive Prime, or you're missing out. Is the simple truth behind it. If you've got some stupidly overpowered weapons, then sure, go for it. But a lot of the Kuva and Tenet weapons aren't stupidly overpowered. They take a little bit more thinking. Now, as mentioned already, the Kuva arsenal for melees has just one. Just one, and it is the Shield Egg. The Shield Egg is an interesting weapon. It's a hammer with puncture as its primary damage type. Go figure. Go bloody figure. We don't swing with this end, but, you know, there you are. That's just a thing, you know. Big hammer go burr. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, it's got very little slash. The stance for it has no slash to offer, if I recall correctly. So you are stuck with what you can get out in standard means. And those standard means aren't really all that amazing, so you're basically looking to combo it up and hit it as hard as you can with maybe Heat Viral as an approach, which is what I've modded here. And that's really about as far as it goes, and it's... yeah. I mean, when I say modded Heat Viral, I've modded mostly Viral here, to be honest with you. But it's the way you can go. It's an underwhelming weapon. There's not really a lot I can say about it. It's just an underwhelming weapon. I don't think about it, really. Because when you consider the other ones out there, yeah, when you can have a Gunblade, which will just tear things at a distance, when you got Glaive Prime, which is like, ha-ha, blap. Why Viral rather than Corrosive using Heat? Because Viral will enhance the damage from Heat. Corrosive will bring down the armor some more, but as we've already covered before now, why focus more on bringing down the armor when you can just kill them? Just kill them. The other thing as well to consider there, Quintus, is that if you're not going for status damage as much, if those status blocks there are not what's actually killing the enemies, direct damage, Corrosive will carve through half of the Grineer, but that's only half the Grineer effective hit points. It's not actually half the Grineer units. Most Grineer units are weak to radiation because that's the Elite Lancers. Elite Lancers make up the majority of the Grineer mission, and radiation carves through them. Corrosive doesn't. It doesn't have a bonus. Viral, on the other hand, has a damage bonus against all Grineer units, aside from the mechanical ones. So your rollers, which no one cares about, and things like Dargins. So by and large, Viral Heat actually does a better overall job than Corrosive Heat. Viral has a benefit to everything, and a single proc of Viral will double your damage. Single proc of Corrosive is doing sweet shit all. Single proc of Corrosive is doing less than a single proc of Heat, and Heat is also doing damage over time and causing the enemies to struggle about in fear that they're on fire. Corrosive, it has its place, but it doesn't have a place alongside Heat. Corrosive is a direct damage attack, and that you need specific targets. That's why I say it's in a good spot because there are so many damage types. It's okay for Corrosive to have a relatively limited spot where it's good at, but as a general go-to, it's not a good one. Should there be more mechanical enemies for the Grineer? That's a good point, Rainier. There probably should be. If there were more mechanical units for the Grineer, that would create quite a change in the landscape of dealing damage. Unfortunately, I think because of the whole ferrite alloy armor switch as well, that might make it where the Grineer take maybe too many elements at once to consider. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into how D put it together if they did do that, but more mechanical units could be an idea for the Grineer. It could be a good idea. How am I getting Viral and Heat together? So the Kuva Shield Egg I've got here has a Heat bonus. So I picked it up with Heat already on it, and then I've just modded Viral. We've got North Wind for Cold, and Prime Fever Strike for Toxin. If you wanted Viral and Heat at the same time without such a bonus, say like you had these two mods here, this one would be a Heat mod. Overall, excuse me, overall I'm not very satisfied with this setup. If you're going Viral Heat, you usually want a lot more Heat than Viral, not the other way around. And, yeah, you can't really do that with this too well. I'd have to drop something else out of this build, because I can't put toxin on it as the progenitor element instead of heat, because then the cold and heat would form blast. We'd have blast toxin. No one needs that. So it puts the shield egg in a bit of a stuck position. I could take out prime pressure point as an option there, or take out condition overload, either or. That would work. I'll be honest, having both of these here is probably a bad idea anyway, but yeah. Viral primer, you could have a viral primer, that would work very well as well. If you went for a viral primer, going heat corrosive would be a good idea then, because you don't need the viral on the weapon anymore. So heat corrosive would be a good idea with a viral primer. To achieve that, you'd want to have a lot more heat than corrosive, because again, heat is doing the work. And in fact, I would consider a full focus on heat. Skip the corrosive potentially at that point. Yeah. Again, corrosive, you need to have specific targets for it to be the top idea. And some of the targets where you're bringing corrosive, you're bringing it specifically because viral doesn't even work. Okay, Fenrir is saying, is there a thing of putting too many status types on that don't do any good to do so? Sorry, what? Is there a thing of putting too many status types on that don't do any good to do so? I'm not sure I understand the question, dude. I'm going to just move on from that one. Penguin saying, you would think that blast would be a good idea, but it's more of fizzle than actual explosion. It's more that just blast doesn't have a place. Its status proc is terrible, absolutely genuinely terrible, and blast damage is not really relevant anywhere. Its relevancy is just gone. Let me bring up blast damage on the wiki real quickly here. No, not blast furnace, blast damage. Come on, Google. Get with the times. Blast furnaces, who cares about them? We're gamers. Alright. So, we have a look at blast damage here. It has a whopping 75% bonus against machinery. Huge bonus against machinery, and a decent bonus against fossilized. Okay, we'll work on that one in a moment. Now, machinery, unfortunately, if we go to the machinery tab here, what are machinery units? Well, we got Carabus. Does anyone here actually know what a Carabus is? Without clicking onto the wiki, can any of you here right now tell me what the hell a Carabus is? Aside from Raynover, because he's memorized half the wiki. Everyone else that isn't Raynover is saying no. So let's have a look for you guys. This is a Carabus. Carabus are a type of Grenadier Sentinel. It's not really narrowing it down. They're armed, used with the Crush Strike 3, some by Execution and Knock. They basically, it's a nothing. And then you've got a Tusk Carabus spawned by some Plains Commanders in a similar way to Artificers. So this isn't helping. We got Cutters, so that's a that is a Railjack thing. We've got Eidolon Lures. We don't really care about shooting Eidolon Lures. Flak, that's another thing in Railjack. Gorkside Cruise Ship, Railjack. Latchers, those tiny little balls that roll around and do nothing to you. Orbital Strike Drone? Alright, yes, these things on... these things are deployed by Vayhek, and they look like the things that are used to summoning reinforcements over on the plains of Eidolon. Yeah, we don't really need to worry about these, do we? Outrider and Elite Outriders, that's again going over to Railjack. Propaganda Drone, another one of these just pointless drones that don't really matter to anyone. Rollers, has anyone ever been scared of the health of rollers? I've seen people get bullied by them, but does anyone actually look at rollers and go, oh my god, it's going to tank so much? No, how do I kill... No one cares. Rollers just die. They just fall apart. Rollers just fall apart. Sensor regulators, these things which just go around spy vaults. You're not caring about trying to damage them, so that's not really a thing. And even if you do want to, you'll probably want to focus on their armor because they're ferrite armored, so corrosive is better than blast. You're seeing a repeated picture here. Circular. What even is a circular? It's another kind of drone somewhere. Yeah. Again, we don't really care about them, do we? Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. We just had a raid coming in from Brava Becca. The bots will probably inform us at one point. The bot's been having all kinds of issues. But welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing today? We're looking at Kuva weapons, figuring out the best damage types. But right now, we're currently basically telling everyone how bad Blast is. Not just feeling it, we're saying it. But welcome. I see you've got a fanciful thing for kittens. What you guys been up to just now, then? As you join us here on the stream today. What you guys all been up to over there? Now, where were we? On the blastings, we got the Skull cruise ship. That's Railjack again. Tactis, that's Railjack. And then we got the Tusk Bolkor Furbolg Thumper. Yeah, those are Thumpers. Let's look at these two. That's a ship that lands in the plains of Eidolon, so it's one location, it's one thing. And again, another ship, plains of Eidolon. And then the Tusk Thumpers. So yeah. Oh, you got your first Kuva Lich today. Nice. How did it go for you? I know some people do struggle with their first Kuva Liches, but how did it go for yourself there, Bravo Becca? So yeah, look at this. Blast basically is good against the Railjack enemies, specifically the Railjack space enemies, because it's only the machinery ones. And there you don't care about it being blast or not because you're not using your normal guns. It's also good against some drones which have no hit points whatsoever. And it would be good against the Tusk Thumpers, except they have alloy armor. You want to be hitting them with radiation instead. Necromech and Wolf are kind of notable? No, they're kind of not. They're kind of not in this case maneuver. The Necromech, you don't want to be hitting it with blast. You want to be hitting it with radiation to get through its armor. And, yeah. Wolfenstein 6 doesn't come up often enough to be noteworthy. If you're leaving it with armor on, you hit it with radiation. If you do take the armor off, then yeah, blast is technically better. But at that point, yeah, nah. So yeah. Blast is terrible. We don't care about it. There is no reason to care about it. Blast is useless as a damage type. If you have it, you just have it. If you don't have it, feel good about yourself. Because that's just better overall. So I've got to say, doing well, just painted bathroom listening to you. Oh, fair do then. Legendary 1, Gauss and Zaku Nova main. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. So yeah, Blast is in a terrible spot. Now the other one I didn't go over there, it was a bonus to a certain infested type. But the infested are weak anyway, so we don't care about that. Is this Elden Ring? No, 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 no. This is Warframe. This is Warframe. Come on. You recognize Warframe. If you don't recognize Warframe, you've somehow ended up here. What to tell you at that point, my dude? Really don't know what to tell you there. I see. We've gone for a meme, are we? Alright. So, yeah. That is the Kuva weapons aside. We're also going to have a look at the Tenet ones here. In case any of you guys are wondering, yes, I am going to be doing a full video on this as well. So I'm going to be covering all the Kuva and Tenet weapons, looking at the ideal picks in terms of the damage types for them to have as progenitors. Because there are some ideal options, and some that you don't want. Now, with the Tenet weapons, 3 of them are just straight up ordinary weapons in terms of their stats. We got purely physical here, we've got purely physical here, and we got purely physical here. Tenet ones from the sisters, except for the melees. You're almost right there, Rogar. With these you pick up from Ergo Glast. But yeah, the Tenet Agendas is the only weird one. This one has innate electricity. And that really changes things. That really does change things. So with innate electricity, if you go for a heat or cold progenitor bonus, they will take precedence before the electricity. So if you put on a mod, that mod will combine with the heat or cold before it will combine with the electricity. But if you go for Toxin, Toxin combines after the electric. So if you have a Toxin bonus on your agendas and you give it a cold mod, you'll get Magnetic Toxin, not Viral Electric. It's a bit funky. It's a bit funky. The only way to get viral that way then, you have to go double mod, cold and Toxin. You can't just skip around it. But if you give it a cold bonus, you can give it just a Toxin mod to get viral electric. Go figure. Yep, Harrow chassis every time is a way to remember it. The order heat, cold, electric, toxin. There's a whole video on it on my channel. Very recent one, very important one for understanding this kind of thing. And is exactly why I put out that video first. So that following on ones like thermal transfer and like this one I'm doing make a lot more sense. Do I sell some scraps prime on trading chat sometimes? Just give it away. I do my selling in batches every now and then using Warframe Market. That's how I get my platinum. I just sell in batches from time to time. Hello, XFI, how you doing? Oh, I see, Bravo Becca. I asked you, Bravo Becca, how did your, what do we call it? How did your Kuva go? How did your Kuva go? You said it was your first ever one.
We stand behind you. Let's build
thank
a
you.
brighter future.
It's not my favourite fashion of all my frames, to be quite honest with you, but I'm glad you appreciate it. So for those of you asking about the Tenet weapons, the Tenet melees, these 4 of them here, you get from this guy. Nowhere else, just him. He's the only seller of them. And if we browse his merchandise, you can see. Now he has a shop stock which rotates every 4 days, where you can pick up 1 of each of them. You can't pick multiple up at the same time of the same ones. You can't get 2 of these or what have you. But yeah, it's where you can get these from. And everyone on the same platform has the same options. So PC has their options, console have a different set of options. Otherwise, it's all the same for all the same players. Should we share the friend every friend? No, right over. That's definitely a second or third stream viewing thing. That's not something we want to bring out right now. Brombecker went so well, it was a blast. Had some veterans walk me through it. I gotcha, I gotcha. It's made fun and challenging, but doable. Got the boom cannon. Alrighty, boom cannon. That could be a couple of them now I think about it. Are we talking Ogress boom cannon or Tsar boom cannon? I'm going to assume Tsar. Maybe not. Maybe not. Use an alternate game attack to trade? I've got no reason to do that as well, Barjam. I've got absolutely no reason to do that. I do trading under my own normal accounts here, just as standard. Sometimes people will come through like, oh, hey, you're that guy from the videos, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am that guy from the videos. Someone's used exactly that wording before. Now it's hilariously basic. Simple. Are you that YouTube guy? Yeah, that's me. Any of you ever know me for the Twitch stuff? No? Okay. Are you going for the Tsar? Tsar is a very solid first pick. A very, very solid first pick there, Bravo Becca. I think you might enjoy that one. Or it might be too good for you. You never know. This is the first you're hearing of me? Well, there we are. I'm glad you've had the opportunity to learn about me today. Just in case you haven't caught it yet, I'm the engineer, solver of practical problems in Warframe. YouTube primarily, here on Twitch 3 days a week as well, every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. Friday we do not Warframe, Wednesday and Sunday is Warframe of course. If you do !YouTube, you'll be able to catch the main channel where I upload a video, typically weekly, sometimes a little bit more than that, covering various aspects of the Warframe space, as it were. Most people here will be here from YouTube though, which I start on YouTube or Twitch. Technically YouTube, actually also kind of YouTube, but kind of not, but kind of YouTube, yeah. So YouTube is pretty much the correct answer, but there's some asterisks and whatnot that'll be in a biography if someone decided to do one. And Ladislavsky is saying, sorry, Laddie, let me try that again. Ladislavsky, there we go. Ladislavsky, say, hello Kenjineer, love your vids, keep up the good work. Thanks, my dude. Will do indeed. I've got something in my eye once again. Don't know how this happens 20 times a day, but there we are. I swear I should be out of eyelashes, but no, they keep coming. What games do I stream? So on Friday, I always stream not Warframe. The game in that slot can be variable. Usually it's Among Us. We've got a decent Among Us crew going around as we use a modded version. So typically it is going to be Among Us on Fridays, but sometimes not. We do vary it from time to time. You can catch all of the past streams if you want to see how they go over on the Replays channel. I've just given you a link to that. So yeah, exclamation mark replays there. I've given you the link, shows you all of the past streams. I do mean all of them, they all go up there. Now, with these weapons, you can see you can just pick these up for 40 holo keys at a time, corrupted holo keys, which you only get from doing some void storms. And as you can see, I've got 247 just lying around, so you know, you can kind of pick them up over time. It doesn't take that much to really get them, as far as farming these go. Some of the bonuses can be great. 53% electricity, that's a pretty big percentage. 53% impact is less impressive, but hey, it's still 53%. You can turn it into what elements you want later. But yeah, that's how you get them. Just there, and he puts them back on the shelf when he's done showing them to you. I'm kind of curious now if it goes off the shelf if I buy one. I'll pass for now. Let's not waste my holockeys. As much as they are easy to get, it still means more farming once I spend them. Have I got a favourite fashion? Yeah, I have. Let me grab you that one. That'll be this boy right here. This be my favourite one. Lavos. I know a lot of people aren't really a huge fan of Lavos and his playstyle. I'm a fan of him. I am really a fan of him. I'm a Lavos main, definitely. And I saw Lavos. I saw the opportunity for Lava Pun, Lava, Lavos. And so, yeah, Lavos was born. Lavos. So I've gone for that obsidian-y, lava-y look. You know, this looks like a creature that's just crawled out of Hawaii. Credit bless? Alright. Ilioga, being a bit of a joker. I recognise you. One credit blessing it is. Let's do it. Mostly because it puts me all the way over near now. Yeah. So that's what I'm quite happy with as a fashion. It's about the only frame where I've been particularly happy with the fashion because I'm not a fashionista. Oh, there we go. Fair enough. Thank you, Helioga. I'm not sure what kind of alternative skins can come out for Lavos. He's got a very unique look to him, but we'll see. We'll see what they manage to come up with. Your Tenet melees say they cost 50 holokeys. Urban Reanimator, you might need to check your glasses. Description definitely needs to happen there. This gives you Doom vibes. I get you. Kinda. Mostly I just, you know, hard as a rock and there to burn everything. That's the idea. Okay, thank you, Leoga. Yeah, if I'm on Do Not Disturb mode, it's because I'm generally not there to be disturbed and just have... always working on stuff. You can message me through the stream, my dude. Thank you. I'm going to close those tabs now. I think Lavos needs a deluxe skin. He could do with one. I just wonder what they'd actually come out with, to be very honest with you. I do wonder what they'd come out with. Loglog saying, currently stuck on a Veil Proximate Orphix mission. Yeah, Orphix is a very, very difficult mode to get through. Seriously difficult mode to get through. If Warframe is normally 90% a gear check, when it comes to Orphix, I'd say it's probably 98% a gear check, because if you do not have that gear, you will get checked. You will be weighed, you will be measured, and you will be found wanting. So you absolutely need to be on form there. What's the best way to get void traces? Open relics. 100% just open relics. Go for the one that's fast, like capture. Capture is the best one. And just run it as fast as you can. Bam, traces, bam, traces, bam, traces. That's it. That's how you get void traces. There are other ways of getting them. They're all inferior to that. So, yeah. What's the best way to get relics? Play the game. Seriously. Let me give you a quick demonstration as to just how many relics you can end up having. You know, when you play this game and just kind of go at it, you'll end up with some relics. Like, more than a couple. You'll just kind of have relics oozing out of you. So the best way to get relics, just in general, is to just go play the game. Seriously. Just go play. Go do things. Relics appear almost everywhere. So if you need to get Lith relics specifically, you can super hardcore farm them over on this mission here, because this mission will always give you a Lith relic when you complete it, so you can just speed through that. Likewise, if you need to get yourself loads of Neo and Mesa relics, you don't really care which ones you get, you just speedrun this mission here. Again, you don't have to do it on the still path, do it in normal mode, that'll be fine. And just speed through it, you'll get one relic every single time. But the Axie relics, if you are hardcore trying to farm those, There are a few places you can go. A big one to go to will be Sender's Kappa, because if you're at the stage where you need to hardcore farm Axie Relics, but you don't care which one, you probably also need to farm the Gauss Warframe, and that is where you get him, so that is a great mission for that. I've got a video coming out, in fact, this week, which will go into more detail into how you can do that mission as well. So if you're struggling in that area, maybe check out the YouTube channel, pop a subscription down over there, and you'll be notified as soon as that video goes live. But yeah, just playing the game, you'll get relics. If you haven't got many relics, you just need to play the game more. Pure and simple. The only one that is a struggle to farm when you're a new player is the Axie Relics, because they drop from very limited circumstances overall. So if you're short on Axie Relics, don't worry, that happens to everyone. But the rest of them, just play the game more. Shameless plug, Rainuva. If I'm on my channel talking about something relevant, and I have another channel where I upload stuff that is relevant to the exact same thing, of course I'm going to talk about it. It's like I'm going to say, whilst you guys are here, if you do have Twitch Prime, consider using that subscription to subscribe for free to this channel. You get one every single month, and it gives you access to additional benefits. You get the emotes on the channel, you get ad-free viewing, and you get access to the subscriber-only supporter T-Lounge on the Discord. So of course, I'm going to talk about that kind of stuff. Now, of course, if you've not got Twitch Prime, then that's not relevant to you. You just have to subscribe with a little bit of your own local currency, but that's something else entirely, isn't it? We don't need to go down that line too far. As much as you may enjoy the benefits there on a monthly recurring basis, or however you choose to do it, do as you do. You just do as you do. I can say it without shame. I mean, that's not exactly what shameless plugging means, Rainuva, but okay, fair enough, fair enough. I did set the form going for today as well. Just remember that whilst we're talking about Void Relics. Now, I think we've covered the majority of the Kuva weapons and Tenet weapons. I think we've gone over kind of what works for them. I don't know if we actually mentioned what does work here, actually, now I think about it. No, we didn't. So, those of you who've been here from the start, you've got all the details from the rest. So I'm going to have a look at these ones here. No pets? I've got pets around, yeah. So, with these three, we said all three of these ones, they are just physical weapons. The stats on them, they're all decent for crits. Excuse me. All of them decent for crits. Well, actually, no. This one's crit multiplier is actually pretty bad. Never mind, the Grigori is not that good for crits. But the Grigori, you want to be going heavy attack anyway, so who cares? Olivia, it's decent for crits. And the Exekia, that's also decent for crits. That's going to be carving through stuff pretty damn handily overall. The Exec, now let me see. You're counted as a... It's a heavy blade, yeah. It's a heavy blade. If I recall correctly, doesn't have slash in the stances usually. So it's got a modest amount of slash in there. It's not a lot. So I wouldn't really call it much of a slash weapon overall, especially as you're not going to be hitting that quickly with it. So I wouldn't expect there to be all that much slash going around. So with this weapon, you could either go the toxin route, yeah, toxin progenitor, add on the cold, focus on the viral approach, which will work just generally. Or again, you can go the heat approach, mod heat viral, get loads of heat cracking into it at the same time. Either of those work, and I think that's going to be the case for all three of these, is that take your pick of either toxin for the viral approach, or heat for the heat or heat viral approach, whichever you feel most comfortable doing. I'll do some more research on that for the actual video as and when it goes up, but those ones, there's not really a lot to write home about. With the Tenet Grigori, that's the only one I find myself stumbling over, because heavy attack would usually be the focus, I'd say. I tried it with a combo build, and it's just poor. I suppose you could focus on, yeah, go for Toxin, go Prime Fever Strike, full Toxin build, but that's mostly for the Corpus. What's Radiation good for? So Radiation damage cuts through alloy armor, which is the main alloy armor, the main armor type in use by the Grineer. Elite Lancers use it, and then a lot of the really heavy units, like Bombards, Noxes, they use alloy as well. Alloy is also used by the armor of certain Corpus units, so you'll come across it there. And Radiation procs are good for various bits and pieces. They shut down, effectively, any Eximus ability, because the Eximus auras no longer benefit the allies around them. Not the abilities, just the auras, sorry. And yo, Faisal Sniper, thank you very much for your subscription with Prime. Cheers, my dude. I'd cheers with tea, but I'm out of tea, so cheers with water. Keeping it pure. Yeah, radiation procs as well act as a crowd control option. You spread even just a couple radiation procs out, the enemies all of a sudden have something else to focus on that isn't you. So radiation deals with the tankiest Grineer, it deals with the basic Grineer infantry, it deals with the tankiest Corpus, and it otherwise just gets enemies off your back. So radiation's a good all-rounder ability, but not amazing for anything. Gotta stay hydrated? Oh, absolutely. Which is also why we have the hydrate option here on stream, if anyone wants to use their spanners on that. We got that there, just to keep me going. I'm getting better at remembering to do it myself, but you guys do definitely keep me hydrated too. You definitely make sure I am keeping myself in a good form there. So right, that brings us then to the very last of these standard weapons. Faisal, there you are, my dude. Cheers again. You found the hydrate button. There you are. The Tenet agendas. The basic electricity built into it. Let's start it here, just to make it easier to look at. It's an interesting one. Now, I've just gone for electric progenitor on the first one I purchased, but it's the question of which one do you actually want to go for? And that's an interesting question. If you go for a cold one, you have innate magnetic. You can add in a single toxin mod to go viral electric, which could work, but it's not going to be a lot of electric. And yet if you go electric and toxin mod, now you've got corrosive cold, which isn't that amazing either. Good against the infested, but that's about it. If you go for a toxin approach, however, you get innate corrosive, but if you add a cold mod, you've now got magnetic toxin, which is great against the Corpus, not really great against anything else. And if you go heat, you get innate radiation, which is in that mixed bag as I mentioned earlier. Any kind of modding is going to go with the heat, not the electricity. So you'll end up either with more radiation, or blast electric, or gas electric. And that just sounds like it's your fuel bills. You know, gas and electric, but not really much of a weapon, I'd say. Stacking the two AoE damage procs, but... So I find myself wondering what way to go with the electricity there, because it seems to me you're basically just stuck kind of working around it, not working with it. Kind of like I have to do on the Fulmin. The Fulmin is a good way of informing ourselves how to handle the electric. Gas electric is pretty good on infested. I mean, gas is alright on infested, yeah. But on the infested which die to anything anyway. Whereas the ones where you have to actually care, you've got corrosive. But look at it for me, for example. My all-purpose build basically goes viral and... yeah, it's got electric in there. This just kind of cleaves through most things that is on the weak side of stuff. Once we get into the stronger stuff, you got Cambion Drift, we've gone for the full corrosive setup. So we are working with the electricity there, but I'm still adding it in anyway because I want the extra damage. My Seal Pack Grineer approach, this one, yeah, we got electricity lingering around, but we don't really care about it. We're going viral internal bleeding. The electricity is just kind of there. It just exists. We're modding around it. And then on my index build, again, I'm adding in the electricity already because I want it. So the innate electricity didn't really help. It's an odd one. It's a really odd one. So, I'm not sure on the Tenet agendas. I feel like if you go for a toxin progenitor, to give you innate corrosive, if you just build on pure damage, you've got pure damage corrosive and you just slam home with it. I'm not sure how that would work on the heavy attacks. Is it going to be good as a heavy attack weapon? I don't think it is. The only other thing to consider, I haven't mentioned so far, is that these two stances, they do involve, I think it's like 1/9, 11% forced proc. That is, of the damage they allow you to put out with their stances, 1/9 of that includes a guaranteed slash proc, and it's going to be your only slash proc here. But that's not a lot of slash, so it still doesn't really shape up all that much. What's my thought of Skiajati? There's better weapons. It has an interesting quirk, but mostly there's better weapons. I don't really think about the Skiajati all that much. I just don't. The quirk on it just doesn't really keep up with current Warframe. So yeah, with agendas, let's really think this through then. So, heat as a progenitor bonus, we're going to have to mod around it anyway. If you go for viral, you're going to have viral radiation, and then you're stuck with that. Which doesn't really do a lot of good, I would say. Rad viral has been talked about as a build for ages, but that's mostly because of the viral, not the radiation. So, heat, I'm going to say, overall, probably not a good pick. Not for the Tenet agendas. For cold, you can go for a single mod slot in elemental toxin. So toxin cold gives you viral, you've got the electric. That can work. That can work. I'd say that's probably one of the better options. Your other options by having the cold there, you've got blast if you put on heat, no one needs that. And then you can just leave it as magnetic. Which is do you want a purely magnetic melee? I don't think you do. If you go for a electric progenitor, I feel like you're just wasting time, because you could be doing other stuff than that. And if you go for the toxin bonus, you start off with corrosive. A few mods in around that, you can go for magnetic toxin, which is going to be even better against corpus than pure magnetic, so probably a better way to go in. Or you can go radiation toxin, which doesn't really have much of a place, but it's a thing if you wanted to. And you can still mod for viral electric, or just, you know, just modding viral. You'd have more viral than electric there. So yeah, I think thinking it through, Toxin Tenet agendas is probably the best. Really thinking it through, Toxin agendas is going to be the best. It is the most versatile on a weapon which it doesn't really lend itself to anything particularly. So, if I'm very, very lucky, I head down to Blast. What one has he got at the moment? I know one of you is going to know straight away, but we're just going to head down and find out.
Build a brighter future.
Let's see what agendas he's actually got for me. Is it Toxin? Ooh. Oh, that is good news. Because I've already got 55% agendas, so, yeah, bro.
Good
Show me what you got.
fortune, Tenno.
Yeah, there we are. In fact, you know what? I'm going to grab that. Let's max out my agendas with that Toxin. Let's do it.
How all business should be done.
And it doesn't take it off the shelf. Oh, come on. Of all the details, of all of the details,
Good
come on.
fortune,
They go
Tenno.
off of the shelf when we look at them. We can only buy one per rotation. You see, I can't buy a second one. But when we come back out of it... He has infinite, but he takes them off to show us them, Log. And I can't buy another one. It's these little details. These little ones which can really help establish a presence in a world to make it seem like more than just interaction panels. Like, this guy could genuinely just be a console. But those little bits, adding in not just the NPC talking to you, adding in personality, adding in changes to the world around you, that's how you make something feel alive. This is a missed opportunity, as Rayluva puts it. It's a tiny detail, but those are the tiny details that make things. Those really are the tiny details that make things. When you've got, in a relay, if we head on over to here, when you've got at the back here, for nothing other than just a bit of world building, the Red Veil just casually torturing this guy, you can add in that little bit of detail. Missed opportunity right there. 100%. Oh well. Alright. Let's go merge together those agendas. Agendai? Agendums? I don't know. Let's just merge them. Let's not think about it too hard. Let's just merge them. You really pay attention to the physics to this game makes no sense. We don't have to worry about the physics too much. You know, there's some aspects where you just have to accept a game as a game, but there are other aspects which create the vibrance of the world that make it seem like things actually happen. Those key details, those little details where you can put them in, really make the difference. Alright, Valence Fusion. Let's grab you. We want option 2, the toxin. We're going to have a 60% toxin Tenet agendas. Oh, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. That's what we want in there. Maximum bonus. Ideal type from what we discovered. I'm happy with it. I am happy with the result of that one. And with that build that I've got on, just sat on here at the moment, that's apparently giving me a corrosive build at the moment. We'll figure it out at some point. Figure it out for the video. Oh, friendly neighborhood psychos in the house. Hello there, how are you doing today? Ramabo, good, just got a good ribbon for it. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Brahma's pretty damn nice. Don't know how amazing ribbons are going to be for it overall, but yeah, it's pretty nice. Did I actually sell my Brahma ribbon? No, I've still not sold this one yet. Interesting. Yeah, I've still got this Brahma ribbon just casually lying around. Bonus crit damage, bonus ammo maximum. It's not amazing, but yeah, it's here. I'm doing alright, thank you, Psycho. I'm doing alright. Yeah, now the only 2 weapons I haven't reviewed out of the Kuva and Tenet set there today are the 2 Kuva arch guns. Let's be honest. Do we care about the arch guns? Do we genuinely actually care about the arch guns that much? When the Morzalon exists, do we really care about the Ianga and the Grattler that much? Because as much as you can get some work out of them, it's just... The big one, yeah. I mean, how much do you care about it, Fly, when you can't even name the 2 of them that you actually care about? Yes, because the Necromex and the Open Worlds are Railjack. But the Morzalon exists. The Morzi exists, you know? Well, let's see what we got here. When you say the big one, I'm going to assume you mean the Grattler. Whoever said the big one, that was Flyer. So let's compare Morzi to Grattler. Let's see what's these stats happen. So we lose more than a little bit in the crits. The crits go down 3% chance and 0.2 on the multiplier. So that does matter a bit there. The fire rate drops. Okay. The magazine substantially drops. Okay. Reload is higher. We got a little bit of status, but status is not what you grab an arch gun for. It does have a much bigger radial attack, and that radial attack is 9 meters. That's where the main damage is coming from. Okay. Okie dokie. So we go from 168 to 205 for the target that gets the direct damage and the radial. Then there's a lot more on the radial there, substantially more, which really makes up for these other stats, honestly. That's giving you a decent AoE right there. Doesn't have any kind of charge attack, but that's fine. So this is a grenade lobber, a rapid fire grenade lobber, basically. Auto rockets or whatever you want to think about it like. Okay. On the other hand, you've got the Kuva Ianga. That's got a higher crit chance but a lower crit multiplier. I have to see how that actually works out in the modding process. Got like half the fire rate, nearly a tenth of the magazine, still higher reload. Worse status as well. Okay. Can we have some good news, please? Good news, it has, again, a substantially higher range. Not as high as the Grattler, though. Not at all as high as the Grattler. And higher single shot damage, but again, that fire rate is down. And again, no charge option. Okay. So this one is just kind of generally lobbing grenades in the area, and then the Grappler is full-on shelling an area. Okay. Okay, they do seem to be on a kind of level with each other. Except for the fact that the Mozzie just keeps going. That magazine is insane. If you put a Gravimag on the Dual Decurion, do you use both as your Warframe? That's a good question. Apparently yes. Yeah, you would. You see? Yeah, that's how it would look. Okay. There you are. That was an easy question to answer without a Gravimag even. What are good melees at the moment? Let's see. Glaive Prime, Redeemer Prime, Nagana Prime, Cronin Prime, Stropher. Those ones there will do you amazing work. These weapons, these 5, will cover pretty much everything you need them to do. The only other one separate from that as well is the Azores, which you'll pick up from the quest that actually requires it. It gives you that one. Those are your bits and pieces. Everything else is kind of secondary. Everything else you can pick up along the way as you want to. Some are better, some are worse. Some people love Grand Prime, some people love Ulthus Prime, some people love the Vastalok, some people are going to love Gwandal Prime, some people are going to love Volnus Prime, Reaper Prime. But you don't need to focus on those all that much. There are a lot of very good weapons in there, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying that these top 5 will sort you for the vast majority of everything. Like, seriously, the vast majority of everything. The only downside is that these primes are all damn expensive. They all are. So, earlier on from that, if you are struggling more for platinum, if you just can't get hold of these ones, then Stropher is very, very good, Zorus is very, very good, and the rest, well, pick up a decent Zor. If you need to know how to get a decent Zor, exclamation mark Zors in chat. I'll give you a very good Zor. Actually, I'll give you all of the very good Zors. But yeah, that'll cover you on the melees. Alrighty. So, now, we've had a look at these and we've gone, okay, some people do actually care about them. What do they offer? The radiant attack on the Grappler is Blast. Okay, and the Ianga is Blast. And they have no other damage types that we need to care about, because that heat is coming from Mozzie. So they're pretty basic. They are just grenade lobbers. And given that they're just grenade lobbers, I'm going to say... doesn't really matter. Genuinely doesn't really matter. You're not going to be focusing on status, you're going to be focusing on just killing. So go heat. Yeah, go heat with these. Then you can go pure heat or you can go viral heat. Job done. Yeah. I think that'll do you just fine. Hello Celeste, how are you doing today? Dual wheel guns are cooler anyway. I mean, that's a matter of opinion, but there we are. Grand Prime's a good melee? It is, yeah. Stropher's a pain to farm? Oh, it's not that much of a pain to farm. You're going to be farming it alongside getting other stuff along the way anyway. But yeah. I'm doing alright, Celeste. A little bit on the tired side myself as well, I'm not going to lie. I did wake up like an hour or so. No, I think it was like an hour and a half before my alarm today. Did sleep in again afterwards, but yeah. Always messes me up a bit. Always messes me up a bit when that happens. You hate the Ground and Void? Well, good news, you can buy the Stropher parts. I believe you can anyway. I believe the Stropher parts are tradable. If I just do a quick Stropher here. Yeah, there are going to be people who just have sets. Like, I've got 4 spare sets of the Stropher just sitting here right now. So, you know, people can spare your sets. You can purchase them pretty quickly off the Warframe market. You shouldn't be struggling there. I woke up at 3 AM today? Bloody hell. Why'd you do that to yourself? If I wake up, look at my phone and it says 3 AM, I'm going straight back to sleep. I'm not even done with the night at that point. In fact, at that point, I've probably been in bed for only about 2 to 3 hours, so, you know. I'm getting right back to it. You woke up an hour after your alarm? Oh, yikes. You're missing a single piece of all the ground and weapons? Might as well go on to Warframe Market then. Get someone else to hand you over their good luck to make up for yours. That's the way to handle it, honestly. People find Protea hate seeing the Stropher parts? Yeah, And so buy it off them. Make them feel a little bit better about that. Just do a bit of trading. That's what Platinum is for. It is the bad luck mitigator for everything tradable. Okay, Celeste. Hopefully that does work for Friday for us. Yeah. Hopefully that does work. I'll make sure you pick up the patch as well, Celeste, I sent over for the Among Us stream. Yeah, we're going back to that version. It was just that much better, that much more stable. Alrighty. What we're going to do now, guys, we're on to the final stretch of the stream, as it were, for today, because we don't stream for many hours. I'm not that kind of person. I don't have that kind of energy and stamina to give you. What I want to do at this point is wrap it up with some good old relic farming. We're just going to crack open some relics, get ourselves some prime parts, make ourselves a little bit of that dosh, you know? So if you would like to join me on some relic fishers, oh look at that, we've got a nice capture one here. It's not going to last the entire stream, but we got a capture just waiting to be cracked open. So if you would like to be part of that, send a message to the Ken's Doing Game. The first 3 people sending through, you'll be into the squad. We're going to go crack some stuff open, get some nice shiny bits and pieces. Use a little bit of that streamer look, you know, it happens, it's a thing. We kind of see it time and time again, so I guess it exists. So, yeah. Let's get some ducats, let's get some platinum. Send me a message in game if you want to be part of that. And if you don't know how to do that, !join in the chat. The bot will tell you what you need to know. How are Chronon Prime relics so expensive? Because Chronon Prime is a very good melee weapon. It is one of the very best in the game, and that means a lot of people want it. That means a lot of people want it. Let's grab you. Let's grab you. I like laser beams. Laser beams are fun. And let's grab the most overpowered melee in the game. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, come on. Anyone want to join in for some relics? There's what, 80 of you here right now? Okay, naturally, if you're on PlayStation, you won't be able to join in, yeah. You do have to be on PC. There is that downside. Until crossplay is here, and I have no idea when that's going to be. PC only for the time being. But yeah, we're going to go into the capture mission here on Saturn. We're going to open up some Mesa relics, and we're going to get ourselves a fair bit of cash. Whilst we're doing that, whilst we're loading up the squad, let me just quickly switch the screen setup over here, and let's get Warframe info open. Do I use the Rubico Prime much? Whenever I need to snipe, yes, but I rarely need to snipe. There we go, we got Fire joining in. We got Pendragon joining in, there we go. And I've got Warframe info now active in the background there. So you guys are going to see the overlay from that to see the prices of what we're picking up. We'll set this to public just to make sure if someone does drop out. Log, there we go. Like I said, first 3, we're all in. Let's do it. Sorry, Celeste. Took just a bit too long to get that open there. Let's see. No radiance. Sod it. Alright. What have I got that seems valuable here? What we got here? That is... That is... Have I got any glaive ones left? No, I haven't. Never mind then. Never mind. I hoped I had some glaive ones left, but I do not. So... Okay, out of these then... Oh, hello. This one. Got a few of these. These are valuable. Let's do it. Next time, Celeste. Next time. Just one of those things. I did give everyone a lot of time. That should be fine understanding. That's not going to cap out. We'll be good. Let's see what everyone else is bringing to this. We've got an E5 Radiant. Nice. We've got an I2 Radiant. Nice. And we've got... Roll. P4 Radiant. Excellent. I'm cheesing the heck out of this. I'm super cheap. I've got an intact and a triple Radiant. Love it. Oh dear. Hey, I didn't promise I'd bring a Radiant. I just said relics. I just said relics. Let's speed our way through this. I've just realised, during all of our talk about Kuva and Tenet weapons, it's been on my screen here hidden away, Penguin actually wanted to see a specific frame. So Penguin, very sorry I've not done that yet. We'll do that after this mission. Just start flapping these guys. Flap. But yes, Penguin, I still see your request from earlier, so we'll absolutely take that ahead on the next mission. But, oh, that is just so satisfying. The entire room just explodes. It just explodes.
Excellent.
I love it.
We'll interrogate the captive back at base. Your part is done.
So I say mainly use the Guandal these days. Really hyped for the Guandal Prime and was disappointed when it performed worse than regular due to Riven specs. Oh yikes. Well yeah, Rivens definitely make things a bit funky, don't they? Rivens can really make things funky. Ooh, shiny. Don't mind if I do. Thank you. And I've got a buff on my Labos. Let's just do that. Man, that ability really keeps going when you get the reactor buff, doesn't it? Yikes. Oh, that was stupid. There we go. Just recharge it with a quick swift bite. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, and then that happens. Thanks, Nullifier. Thanks. Just ruin the fun. There we go. I mean, that's a good question there, Rainuva. Yeah, that's a very good question. You know? Mm? Do you think so, Kush? Do you really think so? I wouldn't imagine it make people salty. I'm there just trying to advise people on what can be achieved in this game. If you get salty over knowing just what is effective, I mean, how to help them at that point? What is that Warframe plugin? So that is Warframe info. Oh, I got beaten to it by Rainuva. There we are. The bottle double link it. It's Warframe info. I've covered it in far more detail on that video. And you should absolutely check it out because if you're on PC, it is an incredible application. And if you're not on PC, whoops. Sorry, you chose the wrong platform. Righty, now we have a request here from Penguin to play the Voltamelon. Their exact request was Yare... No, I'm kidding. Voltamelon. So let's bring out the Voltamelon. This is not the Voltamelon. This is Volt, but this is not the Voltamelon. This is actually a copper stylized Volt, but we don't want the copper stylized Volt. No, 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 no. Someone complained about the lack of fashion I had on my Volt Prime at the time, and so they got the randomizer. And randomizer has given me the Voltamelon. So this is what we're bringing. This is what we're bringing. Dibs if a space opens up. Fair enough, Celeste. Fair enough, as and when. Now, I'm going to bring the Amprex, because why not go zappy zappy when you're running a Voltamelon? Why not? Let's do it. Let's go zappy zappy with the Voltamelon. And I'm going to bring... And we just got the Banshee piece here. Do I need this still? No. No, I've got all of those. So let's go for this Nova one. There's a couple bits and pieces I haven't got from here. Let's do it. Let's do it. We can bring out the D5, and then let's see, we are going to have... At some point, we got an A3 Radiant, an N6 Radiant, and a Z1 intact. Awesome. Let's do it. 2 rad 2 int, still above the average. Still above the average you'll see in a squad. I think I did something like 30 public groups, public fishers. I found that on average, one person out of 3 will bring... Ooh, that was close. One person in 3 will bring themselves a Radiant Relic. So you can usually expect to have 1 in 3 to 1 in 4 Radiant Relics in a group. Yeah, close to 1 in 4, which means you've usually got a good chance at something nice. Usually speaking.
Mission complete. The captive has been escorted.
What's the little mic and circle icon? Oh, that's from my NVIDIA overlay. I don't normally have those on screen when I'm not when I'm just streaming the game. I'm currently streaming my screen so that you can also see the app that pops up with the values of the relics. So what you're seeing there is the end video overlay. Just being a little bit of a little nuisance. Saying at any moment I could back record what's going on and it would include my voice. That's basically all that's saying to us.
Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
We don't need it to say that, but it's just there. It reminds me when I've accidentally hit the wrong key. Oh, fair enough. I'm not really one to stick to any particular company for any particular product overall. When it comes to tech stuff, you know, the different processors, I don't really care between different makers of RAM, I don't care between when it comes to graphics cards, I've only ever had bad experiences with the old Radeon ones and good experiences with Nvidia. So when it comes to graphics cards, I will always pick Nvidia. Always. I've just had much better experience with them overall. I've not come across anything to take me away from Nvidia, so I'm just happy to stick here. You know? That's what I know works. Oh, now look at this. This is a perfect example of why you want this application. This here is worth almost twice as much as the Nel Prime, despite being common rather than uncommon. Nearly twice the value for something supposedly less rare. Now, if you don't know your parts, if you don't know your Warframe market in and out, you just see Soma Prime barrel pop up, you're like, I don't know, is that one I want to get? Is that... You don't know. But if you have the application, you don't need to be a whiz kid in this game. You don't need to be memorizing what's vaulted and what's not. You can just have the app tell you, excuse me, mate, yeah, this one's actually got a bit of value to it. Do you want to grab that? That's the power of the app. That's the power of it right there. Basically, I just made an extra 4.5 platinum. Just cuz. And so did everyone else in the squad who was sensible enough to pick up the news there. So there you go. That's why you do these things. Oh, I haven't got an X Prime Neuro Optics. Alright. I've got a lot of traces. I'm going to upgrade this one. I say when I nearly don't upgrade it. There we go. Let's do it. Hey, if something is great and works, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it. All a sponsorship does is make it where I might talk about it a little bit more often than I would have done, but we ain't sponsored today. We are not sponsored here today. This stream is sponsored by you guys. Y'all with your very, very generous subscriptions, resubscriptions. Absolutely. Is my video still on the website? It was the last time I checked. Easiest way to find out Renova? Check it. Is it still there? Probably. Yeah. Warframe info. I highly recommend it. If you're on PC and you open Relics, just get the app. Just grab it. You'd be surprised how many times it has allowed me to pick up something just that much more valuable.
Happy hunting.
My keyboard is dying. At no point did I try to tap roll there. I was holding down sprint, but I don't think it quite registered. Oh well, it's an old keyboard. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the keys have actually rubbed off. If someone else who's not familiar with the keyboard layout looks at my keyboard, they just freak out. They're like, where's the W key? Where's the A? Where's the S? Where's the D? I'm like, I'm a gamer. They're gone. What's the app called? Warframe Info, or WF Info. If you do exclamation mark WFINFO, you get the video which gives you all the details about it and gives you a link to their website as well. And yes, I made that video myself, which is why I can recommend it. I can highly recommend Warframe Info app, and the video, of course, that goes with it lets you know all about it. Because if you're here, you want to get your news from a trusted source, and that's me. Faisal, when you say it's approved by me, yes. Or do you mean it's approved by anyone else? That's very important. You've just given it's approved, but no context on that, buddy. Let's see, what do we get here? Woohoo! Okay. I will take the 31 plat one, please. If you were trying to choose between these two and you just looked at the duckage, you'd be like, well, that's 65s. That's probably better. Nah. Get this one. 30-odd plat right there. Thank you. Nom nom nom. I'll take that one. No complaints from me on that. See, earlier in the stream, someone said I was wasting 20 platinum on upgrading the, what was it, Kuva with an Orokin Catalyst. Is it really a waste of 20 platinum when I can then just run a relic group with you guys and make 30 plat just like that? Am I eating platinum? Yeah, yes, I am powered by platinum. I grind it up into my tea. I hear it's very good for making your blood just that extra bit richer. And also for confusing archaeologists later. Let's see, what do I want to bring? What do I want to bring? Do I want to bring this one? Oh, I have those. There. Oh, I don't have that. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, you should absolutely be drinking tea. Yeah, tea is great. Is it safe to use? So yeah, the Warframe Info app is not endorsed by DE in any way because it's a third-party application. They just can't do that. However, Warframe Info does not interact with the game whatsoever. All it does is it takes a screenshot when it sees that you are on a relic screen. It just reads from the game. The game tells it, yep, it's time to take a screenshot. And it looks at that screenshot and goes, ah, yes, I know these words. And looks at the value on Warframe Market. So it doesn't interact with the game whatsoever. And DE themselves, years ago, granted, but DE themselves said, whilst we can't endorse it, at this point it is not bannable. And they've got no reason to. All you're doing is getting information. And if you need any more confirmation that it is safe on stream, I use it here on stream many, many, many times. I openly use it here on stream. And this is a stream that doesn't go unnoticed by DE themselves. They have raided into this stream before now, intentionally, and have otherwise on primetime talked about my videos. So they know about me, quite clearly. I know they know about my stuff. I'm not banned. They haven't told me to stop. I would hope that makes it pretty clear that whilst they can't endorse it, it's not a problem. Yeah, DE have straight up sponsored me before now. Absolutely, you're very right there. So, I should hope that makes it pretty clear overall. Where things lie when it comes to, can you use Warframe Info? Yes, yes you can. DE can't say yes, but they aren't saying no. They just can't say yes in case one day an update comes out that breaks everyone's computers. They can't hold themselves liable for that. That's all.
That's it.
It's straight up to protect them from liability in case the app does become a problem. Yep. Literally the Lotus has said the Kengineer will know. Okay. That's true mastery right there. When Lotus defers to you. This guy's got it. I do not mind gloating a little bit about that. The Lotus recommended me. So, you know. What more can I say? What more can I say? I can say yes please on 20 platinum. Oh, we're raking it in today. We've had 30 platinum and 20 platinum. More bits just rolling through. Oh, yes please. I will have a bit of that. Oh, explosions. Thank you, Kush. I just saw that message. Saying, also, Ken, I love you and I trust you. Being kind of cute has absolutely no influence me whatsoever. Okay. 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 Now, Penguin, I hope you're getting your spanner's worth out of this. We're doing a lot of the Voltmelon. There are probably people clicking on for the first time going, oh, who's this noob with this horrible colour set? Okay. I've got all of these. What do I want that one? I'm going to Bowser Prime blueprints. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm not going to upgrade this one because I've got a lot of this relic, but yeah, let's bring it. Oh, you want the depressed lily pad? Alright, let's see if I can switch in time, Celeste. Let's see if I can switch in time. Fine. Let's grab the depressed lily pad. AKA, you're really going to make me do it. Up. Up. One depressed lily pad. We're bringing it to a capture mission, why not? Rainuva, they've actually already been covered over on the wiki. Now, your Cephalon friend over there, they've done a pretty damn comprehensive job. It's already covered on the wiki, my dude. Fair play if you want to do it yourself and recheck it again, but it's already sorted. Those modifiers are now known, as ridiculous as they are. And until such time as D chooses to change it again, we got him. I didn't make that jump, because of course not. And now I'm falling twice. This game was not made for K-Drives to be your defensive ability. It just wasn't.
Excellent work. We'll interrogate the captive back at base.
It's just terrible.
Your part is done here, Tenno.
Hey, they do good work, Rainuva. They do genuinely good work. The Cephalon Scientia, or Scienta, I believe the name is. Huge impact on the wiki. And if it weren't for them, I don't know if I would have fully cracked what was going on with accuracy myself. They basically did 98% of the work, and that included a little bit of the percent, as it were, to stretch the point. A bit that I myself just couldn't quite get.
That's it.
So they do some seriously good work. I appreciate them for it. Yes, pick a frame has been reduced on the channel, Celeste. Just to give more people a proper voice and to stop the stream getting a little bit too meany. Pick a mission is gone, yes. Pick a mission has been removed for similar reasons. Well, hello. Small shiny, but, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Basically, I reviewed how things were going with pick a frame, pick a mission, and what I wanted to have happen here on the stream, and I felt that pick a mission's place had kind of... It reached its limit. It was done. And as for pick a frame, I've minimised that as well. Excuse me. Minimised that as well. Alright, now here the options are less staggering. Like, the difference between this and this is, what, 1 platinum? I could and should go for that theoretically, but I'm actually shy on former blueprints. I'm going to take that. You know, pick a different frame than the lily pads. At this point, I'm allowed to pick any frame I want because I've already done your request now. But you know what? Sod it. We'll just keep it for now. We'll just keep it. I just won't use her K-Drive. Or her first ability, whatever it's called. Or a fourth ability, whatever it's called. I will just occasionally activate the Aquablades and call it a day. Alrighty. Let's go with... Do I work on Prime Systems? I don't. Alright, let's upgrade and run this one. Why not? Why not? There we go. Replace K-Drive some sort of tank from Helmuth. Helmuth doesn't offer a lot in the tank department, though. Like, it really doesn't. We have a look at what we can actually get tank-wise here. Nope. 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 Crowd control, so nope, 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 nope. Sorry, yeah, that one's tank, but it's not a lot of tank. It's really not a lot. No. Small. No. Eclipse as a tank option is really not a good idea. It's really not. It's terrible. Pretty much your best ones are Null Star, but for that you need a lot of duration, I believe it is. And if you have range, you're going to lose your tank continuously anyway. Not exactly ideal.
You are here on a capture mission.
You've got Defy for a bit of armor, but that doesn't do a lot, really. If you're relying on that for tank, it's not really going to do all that great for you in the long run. And it's a bit slow of an ability to use. Fire gives immunity, which can be used as a tank. It only gives you immunity whilst you are channeling the ability. But whilst you are channeling it, you can't do anything else. So that's not really useful in terms of immunity. It's a temporary protection if you know you need the protection. But beyond that, it's actually more of a problem. I'd genuinely say. If it gave you immunity whilst you could still fire your weapons, then it could be useful. Unlike with Maduro's Void Strike, or with the Assimilate Augment on Nyx's 4th Absorb. But it doesn't have that. So it's not a good pickup for defense overall. If you're going to go for armor tank, I would actually say look into grabbing yourself an Arcane to meet it. So like Arcane Tanker is a good one. There's the other one which adds 1200 armor if I get the name of it. Those would be the ways to go.
You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
This is the only level where Aquablades is worthwhile on its own, isn't it? You're any higher than this, and Aquablades' direct damage is just... yikes. Does aerodynamic work with Urani's K drive? I haven't tested it, to be honest. I haven't checked that. Someone could check on the wiki, see if it's already been discovered. If not, we can have a look at it at some point. Not today, though. Ooh. Do I take the Paris Prime Grip again, or do I take a Florma movement? I'm taking Florma. I do not like trying to sell Paris sets. They're so cheap. Because the Paris is always around. I don't like picking it up, so I'll just take the Florma. Rolling Guard is better than Defy? Yes. Lots better. Easily better. Rolling Guard gives you genuine immunity for 3 seconds, and repeatedly, doesn't take up an ability slot, no energy cost, no nothing like that. It's solid. Rolling Guard is definitely better than Defy. Alright, Lilypad, that's enough of you. Go away. Go away, Lilypad. Let's bring out... I don't use Wisp all that much. She's a very powerful frame, and I don't really use her that much. Let's bring out Wisp. Use Reservoir, high strength, good duration. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thing is with Urani, she's not terrible, but she's pretty damn terrible. The main thing holding her back, in my honest opinion, is that her defense requires her to be on a... Excuse me. God, what's got me today? That her defense requires her to be on a K drive. No forming for the signature weapon? Nah, not right now. I'm feeling an Amprex mood. Zappy. But yeah, having to be on a K drive to get her 75% damage reduction and knockdown immunity is horrible. Because that K drive is janky in moving around a mission, is janky in interacting with a mission. I've demonstrated that horrendously with Disruption. And also it limits you to just your secondary weapon. And it's just no good. It's just no good. Alright, take care, Kush. Have a good night. Cheers, Faisal.
You are here on a capture mission.
Oh, Fuse Reservoir time.
Capture and extract
Let's
our
go.
target.
And Wisp is one of those frames that really loves getting a reactive buff. The double range, double strength. Oh, it does some good work on Wisp.
Mission complete.
It does some good work, does it?
The extraction point. Well done.
Let's pop this down over here. Should grab a few more allies as they come through. Give them more buffs. Re-up on the buffs if they already had them. And my buff went to the Amprex for the reacting buff. So okay, we'll take infinite ammo Amprex for a moment. This isn't a loud weapon when infinite ammo hits. It's kind of fine. I can just waft it in the general direction of enemies and they die. Wisp is broken? I mean, almost everything in Warframe is broken. So, your mileage will vary in how you measure that. Pretty much everything Warframe is broken. It's just some things are more easy to use in their breakageness. And as someone on our Discord figured out earlier today, you can one-shot almost any enemy with Frost. Fun fact. Doesn't matter the level, doesn't matter the armor, doesn't matter any modifiers and whatnot. You can one-shot almost every single enemy in the game with Frost. Everything's got a different kind of broken. Celeste, the best way to test something like aerodynamic testing is actually get a friend and head on down to the simulacrum. Have that friend shoot you whilst you are on and off the K-drive and see if there's a difference in damage. That's how I've done a lot of the testing when it came to Warframe damage reduction. Testing different mods and whatnot that way. I just had a friend keep shooting me. We kept on reading the numbers and seeing what was happening. He enjoyed the opportunity to murder me many times over. Probably too much. Hey, Livy. Urayli has some bits kind of going for her. You know, with the whole... I'll have to get back to you on that one. No, but seriously, Accolades with the new augment can actually be pretty decent for limbo of all frames. Yeah, that's about the main part of it. And then, what do you call it? Her first ability, I genuinely cannot remember the name of it. It's the one where she blows out bubbles. That can interact with some interesting enemies in ways you might not expect. If I understand correctly, it doesn't work on demolishers though, so that's a rip.
Excellent work.
That's just a rip right there.
Back at base. Your part is done here, Tenet.
It can CC some enemies you wouldn't really expect. There is that bonus to it, potentially, maybe, kind of. And then her fourth ability is... no, it's bad. Yeah, her fourth is just bad. Oh yeah, Shock Reservoir.
Inform the queens
Just all of the reservoirs, but Shock Reservoir especially is just so good. Oh hey, it's a Larveling. I better not shoot that in case someone else wants to actually get a thingamajig. I just noticed. Oh right, log. That's what you meant by normal mission. Yeah, I realised. Yeah, the capture's closed. I didn't even notice. I autopiloted into this mission. Didn't even notice we weren't doing a relic fishing. My bad. This is why we use full sentences. I read that normal mission as soon as you posted it, but I had no idea what you were talking about. I wondered if you were just like talking, oh, Urayli's good at a normal mission, or are you saying, oh, why are we not on Steel Path or something like that? Just a two-word sentence with a question mark isn't a sentence in that regard. I understand you now. Now that I figured it out for myself. Hey, I'm glad I could help this run. Well, you see, Celeste, few work good... can't even do that. Few word work good when good word used. Too few word, no work. Yes. Alright, so with that one closed, let's level it up to the capture that was here that I saw earlier. We'll do an Acti run instead. Have I got any Radiance here? Of course I haven't. No defensive survival relics? Why would you do defensive survival when you can do capture? Capture is just so much better. The only time you want to do a Kuva survival is a Kuva survival relic. Just because the way that impacts your Kuva gains. Don't worry too much, Log. It's a thing that happens very, very frequently here on Twitch. People will post 1, 2, 3 words, snippets of a thought. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I genuinely don't know. But like, oh, I sent you this message earlier. It's about that. I'm like, that was half hour ago. I was like, oh, you asked, where do we go for that thing? And someone 10 minutes later say, the left. The left of what? Fuller sentences are definitely a good thing on Twitch. Not paragraphs. Paragraphs take forever to read. But a full sentence. Definitely a good idea. Give context. Assume that I know nothing other than your one and only message right there. So it's a good thing to do on Twitch, I'd say. If you've never streamed before, you won't have the same appreciation for it. Anyone who has streamed here, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Either that or you're just that much more aware of things than me, and that's quite possible too. You know, I can be a bit blind and idiot at times.
Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction
Just
point.
zapping everything with the Amprex. It's so good! It falls off at higher levels. It doesn't have anywhere near the same sustain as some weapons. But it's still just so good! I made a mistake in one video, which thankfully not many people have noticed, or at least not many people have called out, on accidentally calling the Amprex a low crit weapon at one point. I was referring to a different weapon, but for some reason I said Amprex. I put it in my scripts and said Amprex. I don't even know which weapon I was looking at the time. I just made a mistake. The Amprex is not a low crit weapon. It's a solid weapon. It's very good. But yeah, it doesn't scale amazingly well. It's the only problem. As levels go up, it can struggle a bit. Star chart, it dominates. Nope. Be prepared for 120 word minimum. If you've got a 120 word sentence, you've incorrectly put together a sentence. That is called a run-on sentence of extreme magnitude. Alternatively, it's a paragraph. I said no paragraphs. Alright, now, time-wise, guys, that is actually going to be wrapping us up on this mission, which means if you haven't yet entered into... Oh, hello! If you haven't yet entered into the giveaway, do exclamation mark ticket in the chat, because we're going to be doing a platinum giveaway in just a moment. I'm going to roll it 2 times to give it out to 2 different people here on the channel. So yeah, exclamation mark ticket if you do want to be in on that. I've seen, like, very few tickets throughout the rest of the day here, so, you know, you probably got a good chance at winning. At least better than usual. A lot of people have just kind of slept on that today. If you get the bot telling you've got too many tickets, it means you've already entered. So, yeah. No double ticket for you, Millie. No double ticket for you. Alrighty. Log, Pendragon, Flyer, thank you very much for joining in. We have had a good run. I hope you enjoy your extra platinum there. All those pieces if you needed them, as they were rares. I'm going to give you guys just a moment now to wrap up on grabbing those tickets, and then we'll do the giveaway proper. We'll see who is going to be winning those bits of platinum today. This is open to all platforms, by the way, so it doesn't matter if you're on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, or on PC, you can win it. If you're on mobile, go back to the future. You're not meant to be here yet. The only weak part of Whispers of 4, which is still fairly powerful. Yeah, basically. Wisps 4 is kind of like Gauss's Thermal Sunder in that it's the one you'll get rid of if you can have another ability, but it's still pretty good on its own if you build for it. It's still pretty good on its own if you build for it. But you have to do that to make it really work. Any Samsung fridge players? Jesus. Oh dear, smart technology, that's a whole other issue in itself. Smart fridges, smart clocks, smart meters, smarts. The Internet of Things for households. I take a very dim view in general of that. There are some points it works, but I take a dim view in general. Who's the worst Prime? Well, Primes are just the normal frames, so Hydroid Prime. Obviously. Obviously Hydro Prime. Your smart toaster will beat me at chess? Yeah, but I'll probably beat it at toasting things. You know? I'll just use an ordinary toaster and it'll probably come out better. Or use a grill. Or just a fire in a barrel down the end of a dark alley. That'll still probably toast better than some of these smart toasters that focus on widgets. What's so bad about Hydroid? You never played him? Let me give you a quick look on that. We'll go over why Hydroid is bad, and then we'll do the giveaway. So, here's Hydroid. Here's his 4 abilities. We got Tempest Barrage. It deals 195 to 390 damage per hit, and it does those hits pretty frequently over a duration of 5 to 10 seconds, depending on if you charge it. Here's the problem with that. That amount of damage is called fuck all. Excuse my language, but it really is. It's tiny. It does a bit. It knocks down enemies, which is nice, but you don't really need a generalized area knockdown. You can get an augment for it to add on corrosive procs, but corrosive procs back when that augment came out were a lot more powerful than they are today. So this ability is bad. It really is bad. Worse, you see how it has the duration 5 to 10 seconds, the damage 195 to 390? That's because you charge this ability. It takes 2.5 seconds to charge this ability up to get it to the point where it's actually dealing those top end stats. If you don't charge it, you can quick cast it, but you get half the damage, you get half the duration. Because sure, let's force you to have to spend time casting this ability. 2.5 seconds is a long time in modern Warframe. Tidal Surge. You dash forwards as a wall of water, dealing the same as a single drop from this in damage. It's pathetic. It's genuinely pathetic. Sure, you dash forwards a bit, but it's just overall pathetic. Undertow. You can become a puddle. Whilst you're a puddle, enemies that step into the puddle start drowning inside of you. They are removed from the game, as it were, whilst you drown them. The damage increases over time, and it is true damage, so it can actually get some work done, except that work takes so very long. You can spend energy as well to reach out and grab enemies and pull them into you. Yeah, really feeding that beast below the oceans, the thalassophobic, the kraken ideal. But it's just so slow. Like, I get it, water destroys things slowly, but do we need a frame to be slow about it too? Can't you make his ability stronger? You can. You can add on strength, but it doesn't make him that much stronger. You can't fix him with just more strength. It doesn't work that way, because a lot of it is it's slow, and a lot of it is he is so absurdly weak you need to start adding zeros in. And I don't mean after the decimal point. This overall, this ability, you lose all your weapons temporarily whilst you are a puddle, a very slow moving puddle. You can use Tidal Surge to get around, but that's still going to cost you a lot of energy. You can grab enemies bit by bit, but it's not going to do you a lot there. Genuinely isn't going to do you a lot, and it still costs you energy to grab them too. You're very slowly drowning them, and you can pick up nothing whilst you're in this watery form. So it's overall just seriously mediocre. It doesn't even act as a form of stealth, because you'd think a puddle could go underneath a laser? No, I've tried it. The laser's still detected, even though it was above me technically. And then you get to Tentacle Swarm. This one could be good, except it doesn't really deal a lot of damage. The crowd control on it is a bit shaky, because if the tentacles spawn in not so useful places, then they're just not going to grab the enemies like you want them to, because they spawn on existing enemies, not necessarily where you want them to be. The duration on it can be decent, the number of tentacles can be decent, the radius can be decent, except you have to charge everything. Just like with Tempest Barrage, you charge up the ability to use it at its full capacity, which is again a very slow way of playing Warframe these days. And it's not a small increase either. If you don't charge it, you get 1/3 of the radius, and you get half of the tentacles. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. You can get an augment on Tentacle Swarm, which means that enemies killed whilst they're held by the tentacles will give you more loot, but it just doesn't keep up. And then his passive, if you slam on the ground, you can create a temporary tentacle, and that's it. Yeah, just a temporary tentacle. Maybe. Not guaranteed. So his kit overall is seriously underwhelming. You've got a thing that back in the day could have been a decent source of corrosive, but actually corrosive procs now are really not much to talk about. Certainly with this charge mechanic going on. You got Tidal Surge. Dash forwards into enemies, knocking them down, dealing a token amount of damage. For 50 energy, that's really not doing a lot. Really not doing a lot. Compared to the two on Lavos, which goes further, costs no energy, drops vials everywhere, dealing damage over time as well as damage on the explosion at the end of it, and you can control the status procs being applied here. Undertow, You become a puddle, which is just slow in literally every way. It's just depressingly slow, and therefore it just doesn't keep up with what other options you have. And then Tentacle Swarm, as I mentioned, takes a long time to cast and is unreliable. It's basically used as an early-ish game frame for looting because of the augment on it. Hydroid is unfortunately bad. And that is all we got time for in terms of shitting on Hydroid. Sorry, my dude. You look cool, but you're bad. Here's a frame where you can actually get stuff done. Let's have a look at that giveaway now. I know you guys have been chomping at the bit for it, or at least some of you have. Some of you would really, really, really want to have that platinum. So, let's grab my thingamajiggy over here. We're not going to be using the spinner because the spinner is not available for this, so I'm just going to have to do the draw straight into the chat here. Let me get the giveaway up on my side. There we go. What about Revenant though? Don't see a lot of people using him. He's pretty powerful. I mean, yeah, you don't see a lot of people using him, but he is pretty powerful, yeah. Alright then, everyone in on this. I think the last person has just got themselves in, King of Goblins, Surf Cutter, and let's close it. There we are. Sizron, I'm sorry, you've had all the opportunity. I've called it out multiple times. I know you were here before. Oh wait, you actually managed to get in. Never mind. You managed to get in just in the nick of time, Sizron. Sizron? I don't even know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. I'm sticking with Sizron. Your SYZ in my head now. Sorry, it's stuck. So yeah, all the tickets in, all those chances are in. Let's draw 2 winners. Because we didn't have one on Wednesday because the bot broke. So we're going to be doing it today. Our first of the winners today is the Urban Reanimator. There we are. I had to figure my way through the lowercase letters there. The Urban Reanimator, congratulations. You are one of the 2 winners of the giveaway here today. I'll be contacting you here on Twitch in just a moment after the end of the stream to get your Warframe username and platform to get this sent on over to you. But you'll be joined in that list by Flyer145. Flyer145, you are also one of the winners today. Congratulations, my dude. So both of you, I'll be contacting you a little bit after the stream ends so we can sort out getting this platinum over to you. Congratulations, both of you there. And to the rest of you, sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. I hope you have enjoyed the stream all the same. Without the little bonus there, maybe it just sometimes happens that way, but we will be doing more giveaways on future Warframe streams as we do every single which time we do. On that note, that is all that we have got time for today. I'm going to be doing some more Warframe streaming on Wednesday, but for now, we need to be raiding on over to another part of the Warframe community. We do need to be raiding on over to another part of the Warframe community. Let's see, who do we want to say hi to today, guys? Who do we want to raid on into today? Who's live? Very important question. I'm looking over on my second screen here. Who is live? Who do we want to give a little bit of love on to? Let's have a look here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who to raid? I don't know. At least the original entry worked for you? I mean, there is that speaker already, yeah. Yeah. You were one of 2 people who managed to get the bot to actually listen. You and me. The bot ignored everyone else for some reason. Let's see. Where do we want to go today? Went to the nest recently. Yeah, we did, yeah. You know what, let's see if there's someone's mind I can break instead. We're going to break someone's mind today. Let's find someone who does not expect to get raided and then raid them anyway. Let's see. Where is a nice, high quality stream with low viewer count? That's what I'm looking for. But rare as anything, because most of these low view streams are... if you want tips on that, Harris Heller can certainly help out there. But that person's not even playing Warframe. What are you doing in the Warframe category? Fix your stream, bruh. Who are we going to go to? Who are we going to go to, guys? Don't go anywhere just yet. Come on, let's see. You got to start somehow. You can start many different ways, but if you start by just streaming the game with no webcam, no YouTube channel, no reason for people to care about you, doing it wrong. Doing it wrong. Here we go. That looks like it could be interesting. I'm just going to make sure they haven't got any horrifying stuff going on. Perfect. All right. This is someone who is not going to see it coming. But they are streaming Warframe at the moment, and they are... Well, they're on Hydron, and by the looks of it. Let's give a little bit of love to someone who has absolutely no idea this is coming. Let's show them everything that the Kenjiner community is all about. Let's raid on over to someone who, right now, sorry to say, after 5 hours, they've got 1 viewer. Let's fix that, shall we, guys? Let's go fix that. I hope you have enjoyed it today here on this stream. I'll see you again on Wednesday for some more Warframe. That's all from me. Bye-bye now.